You already know what time it is, man. The young GOAT in the building. Make sure you tune in to Tru Heel Heat podcast.
Check the sound skin. New York, we know where we at. We on the East Coast, but we from the West Coast. But it's all love, dog. Tru Heel Heat. Yee.
Hey, you fucked it all up.
Welcome to Tru Heel Heat, the place where we use insider terms because we think we know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we don't. My name's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it.
Hey guys, this is the Rosa, and welcome to Tru Heel Heat.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
You know what Krssi Love says? It's hot girl summertime, meaning that everybody needs a new contract. Free agents galore. You got Chad Gable had his contract reportedly expire on Friday, and AEW is interested in him despite WWE giving him an excellent offer. And Natalya has a contract extension in her hand that she hasn't signed just yet. You already know Becky Lynch is a free agent. And now, just last night, Ricochet is set to leave WWE. I wonder where he's going. This is Tru Heel Heat, special Sunday edition of the flagship. Let's get to it. Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 280. Everyone needs a new contract. Discussing the latest wrestling news, including Ricochet set to leave WWE when his contract expires, Penta El Zero Marigold expiring AEW contract, and interest from WWE, Chad Gable getting an IC title shot 1 week after his WWE contract expires, and interest from AEW. Recap of this week in wrestling with NJPW Dominion this morning, AEW Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, ROH TV, WWE SmackDown Raw, NXTNA Impact, and we'll get final predictions for NXT Battleground tonight. And of course, I am joined by the beautiful, the lovely, she is back after a 1 week sabbatical. It is Miss Krssi Love.
1 week sabbatical, wow.
Hey, they literally had a report this week because Will Ospreay took the week off from Dynamite, and it was like Will Ospreay taking a sabbatical. It's literally he had 1 week off.
He was home. He was celebrating, like he was chilling. Like, Dad, yo, we take 1 week off, and things just start happening. See what happens? It's
It's
crazy.
now called the sabbatical. Now that's what it's called, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing, Miss Krssi Love?
I'm okay. Happy Sunday, everybody. What's going on? Thank you for joining us on this special Sunday edition. We appreciate y'all. How's it going over there, SP, on your side of the world?
My side of the pond is doing good. My internet issues are all gone. If you watched our Dominion special, I look like I was recording from outer space. It was really bad. Had a whole meltdown afterwards because I was like, I cannot deal with this nonsense anymore. So we got an upgrade from 5 megabytes. Yes, we were on 50 megabytes, and only 1 pound more it took to go up to 500.
What? Wow. Okay. Well, hey, listen, 1 more pound, we'll take it.
Hey, upgrades
That's
galore.
That's a big jump too. Like, I wish it was over like that over here.
Seriously. But I mean, if you saw me on the Dominion preview, man, I was like, man, when Bronx Optimum Wi-Fi is better than someplace, I know it's really bad. But we have solved the issues, and we are here to talk this week in wrestling. And we made a good decision doing it on a Sunday because we got a lot more news to discuss. So we'll get into it. We want to thank you all if you are joining us live. We want to thank you all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. This is our first flagship podcast since we hit 15,000 subscribers. Hit the go ahead, Krssi, you know you. Yeah. I wish I had the fireworks.
Yeah. The confetti
pyro everywhere. And then hit the pyro.
Yep.
And we hit 1 million views on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel this week. So thank you everyone who has supported us this whole way. We've had this channel up now for over 6 years, which is crazy for me to say. All started with me doing the running of the ropes spear to Baby Seth back in 2018. And here we are today in 2024, 1 million views later. Yep. 15,000 subscribers. Thank you all for supporting us. We appreciate that so much. And that's why we're here with the special Sunday edition of the Flagship Podcast. We got in the chat with us, joining us today, G. Loke, the good brother. Thank you so much for letting the people know to smash up the likes. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you. That's what the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel is all about, hearing what you guys have to say. You guys dictate the conversation a lot of times here on the Flagship as well as on AE Ramble. Me and Jimmy have been averaging about 40 minutes of just going through comments and talking about random stuff. We enjoy it. We were literally, both of us, after this week's show, we was like, no, that was a great one. That was a great time. We had so much fun. So yes, bring those comments in, send those super chat donations. We always appreciate the support that you guys give us here, and it goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. So show your support. Yes. And it will go back to Krssi Love once she gives me the invoice of how many super chats she's gotten on all these streams since like January. But she's gonna eventually do that for me. I promise.
Okay. Well, show me how to do it, and I can do it.
You just have to go back, or look after the stream. You know, the starred comments or all the super chats. Just make your tally, do your notes. You know, you got the big month of February that you missed out on. You gotta go back now. You gotta go back.
Wow. Okay.
January. But sound off in the live chat. We got all our regulars here, like Nicky Boy, Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. He says, "Oh shit, I thought I was tripping." Got it for a minute, but nah, we got Tru Heel Heat on a Sunday. Indeed,
yep, you got a Sunday.
I always appreciate these Sundays ones. These Sunday ones are always nice. And we got our first super chat donation from our good brother Bala B. Thank you so much, Bala B, for the support. He says, today was a good day for wrestling. Collision was fun. A lot of women's wrestling progression, indeed. And he says, I'll save the Dominion talk for the review. 10 Commandments. Tada came in clutch. we are going to talk about some NJPW Dominion on this show, so you can sound off and give your opinions on that, Follow B. But of course, we will be doing our review tomorrow, 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Jay Nudes, and the return of Sanal, the never openweight 6-man tag team champions of reviewing NJPW, are back together tomorrow. So join us for that, 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time. But we got a lot to discuss from today's Dominion, including a big title match set up for Forbidden Door. We got the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, a bunch of great matches, and we're going to discuss that during the flagship. You know, what we missed. We also got our good brother, our third of our three co-hosts here, our trio here. He is out doing his damn thing at Brooklyn Comic-Con, selling all the X-Men 97 pitches, all the Spider-Verse pitches, Rock, Cody Rhodes. You got to see all his artwork. Check out the last flagship podcast where he showed off a bunch of his work. True Jaw Josh saying, send those super chats. Hurry up, Debo voice. We appreciate you chiming in, sending that super chat donation. That's how you know he's having a good weekend at Brooklyn Comic-Con. He's sending a super chat. He's like, I got some money to burn. Here you go, guys.
Right. Exactly.
We also got in our chat Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, who sent in some Dominion love. Thank you so much, Negro Buck, who says Despy won Best of Super Juniors and TMDK won the tag titles. We up, boy. Gato finally did something smart. This was the best show for New Japan since the last show in Osaka, New Beginning, back in February. This was a really good show today. And it did it for us long-time New Japan fans and us long-time El Desperado fans. Me and Jay News, we've been shooting in the El Desperado gym since like 2019, 2018. We saw something in him. We saw the rise in popularity, and finally, he won the Best of Super Juniors. And tomorrow, he's booking his own show in New Japan with the Despy Invitational. So shout out to El Desperado. We're going to start doing my new thing I want to do every week is who's had the best week in wrestling. Besides, you know, our matches of the we just do a best of week section. We'll do matches of the week and who had the best week. And I think El Desperado is one of those contenders this week.
Okay.
We also
sure.
It's like sure. We also got Safed, who says congrats on 15K. We got Bala B, who says the same. Hell yeah, 15K. Burr, 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 burr. We got the fireworks shooting out the birthday celebration from Negro Buck. We also got Safed, who says, by the way, happy Puerto Rico Day to everyone that is celebrating.
Oh yeah, they must put a hex on this because it's raining here. It was supposed to be very nice and sunny, and it's raining. It was beautiful. At least
you had
yesterday.
The festival yesterday.
The festival was nice. Well, I mean, I didn't go, but I saw like it was really, really nice. So I guess you get one out of the whole weekend day. Originally, it wasn't supposed to rain, and it's raining now. So whatever. So
don't worry. It'll probably clear up. I
hope so.
And you know those Puerto Ricans, they're gonna still be out there.
Yeah, they're still gonna celebrate. Still their day. So enjoy, guys.
Absolutely. Just play Mina Shirakawa's theme song, which is the same theme song from Fast Five. Just play that all day. They be in the rain just dancing, doing the Mina Shirakawa dance that she does when she makes
that's her song. I mean, that's her. She stole it. Yep, that's the song right there.
Oh, Negro Buck in the chat. Thank you so much with another super chat donation. We appreciate the love and support. Negro Buck says, congratulations again. So proud of y'all. Negro Buck been here shooting in the gym for a very, very long time. We appreciate that. And our producer, Baby Seth, says my ribs are still hurting from that spear when I went back and forth in that room in New Orleans.
Yep.
It was overpowering. It was overpowering. I was very talented that day. We also got yes, Negro Bug. Yes, I'm gonna like tally up. I'm gonna try to like put in my check from Wrestle Talk in with the super chats that we get, so we can pay Krssi love because she's gonna give me a big old invoice very soon. We got congrats from Frantic World, who says congrats on 15K THH. We got Eric Isaacs, who says congrats peeps. We got Dolores in the chat. Dolores is here. What's up, Dolores? How you doing?
Hi, Dolores. Hey, girl.
We also got Bala B who says Despy had the best week and Andrade had the worst. That's what we should do. Best and worst. Who had the best week? Who had the worst week?
Elaborate on Andrade. Did he lose? Or he just had a bad...
Well, Andrade, this past week, he answered a fan on social media that asked, why does all the Mexican wrestlers have to fight each other in WWE? And Andrade answered the fan and said, I've been wondering the same thing. And then the next day, he posted a picture that said, the real Latino man, AEW, CMLL, AAA, with pictures of matches from all three of those promotions. So it seems like, once again, Andrade is not happy with the place that he works. Color me shocked. And look at that. I know if Josh is still watching, he's probably pissed because he's been wanting to talk about Andrade and the lack of Andrade in WWE since he got here for weeks. But we just keep forgetting about Andrade.
You know, it's one thing... And I mean, I get why he left because he wanted to be with his wife more, which is fine.
No, I wish that was the reason why he left. He left because he actually thought that he was going to get a better push in WWE than he was getting in AEW. That's my interpretation. I don't know if that's the truth. That's not a report or anything, but the way it comes off with him not seeming happy back in WWE, it really feels like he left AEW because he thought that Triple H could book him better than Tony Khan.
And I thought he had a pretty good run when he was on AEW. He had more matches, you saw him more until he got injured, and then then he was not there. So I don't know. I don't know what you want us to say, friend. Oh, Frantic said he's the new speech champion. Oh, because of Ricochet.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. He's the speed champion. There you go. There's the push he wanted. The new speed champion. The Twitter champion.
Twitter champion. Damn.
Twitter champion. There you go. I'm all for you. There you go.
Sure.
Senior Nerd said, is Andrade the Mexican CM Punk?
No, but
I mean, he's not Senior Nerd because he tried to punch someone backstage at AEW and he only got suspended. He didn't get fired.
Yeah. Is there a way we could take these super chats right now, or are they already cleared once they give it to us? Because, I just want to make sure that wasn't a misprint from Chuck Berry's.
Whoa. Yes. Hey. Thank you, Chuck Berries. We got a super chat donation from Chuck Berries who says,
appreciate you, friend.
A huge super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. We appreciate that. Yeah, you got Bala B saying, tally up the invoice there. There you go. Congrats on the continued success. Here's to more success in the future. We appreciate you, Chuck Berries. You've been one of the main people who's been sending us super chats throughout the last couple of months. You, Will Chisholm, Bala B, Negro Buck, the usual suspects that we see in the chat. Tyrone Kidd, Christopher Kidd, or others as well that's been showing us so much love with those super chats. They go a long way, and they put some food in my kid's mouth, and my kids' bellies are getting big, so I appreciate that.
I hope you guys are liking I see like 63 people are viewing this right now. Make sure you're liking this stuff. Please put your thumbs up for us. We appreciate that. Thanks.
Yes, a bunch of views. If you're watching us on Twitter, remember to retweet the video. It also helps other people see the video as well, and it goes a long way. And jump on over to YouTube where you can send a super chat and you can chime in the live chat if you're watching us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube right now. We got Negro Buck who says, that motherfucker pinned Bryan Danielson in AEW. It ain't going to get better than that.
Welp.
It is what it is. It is what it is at the end of the day. But we got our Tru Heel roll call, how we start off every episode of the Flagship podcast, shouting out all of you who support us here on the channel, here across social media, and our Patreon page. Our top 3 conversation starters on our Tru Heels group page on Facebook. Jermaine Packman once again, Joe Bellini, and number 1 once again, Stewie John Palmer. Thank you so much. We got our Patreon backers, which we got Negro Buck and Vala B, who are already in the chat. ALW, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John, aka Russell Scopes, Dan, Kobe, Dolores, who's in the chat as well, John Martin, DJ Eric, Marcus Ryan, James, Alan, Santo. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month, the best way where you can support us when we are not live here on the channel. But let's get into what we missed this week, Miss Krssi Love. And we're starting off with AEW Dynamite, which was up in the ratings to 790.
No basketball this week.
No basketball. And we also had a couple of returns and a big AEW World Championship matchup in the main event, which saw Swerve Strickland defeating Roderick Strong in what I thought was a terrific main event matchup to retain the AEW World title. And then he got the swerve with Grandma. With Grandma, with Chris Nana.
Loved it. Great stuff. I was like, whose grandma is this? And she was all moving one. I was like, yo, go, shout out to Grandma. Even though she got MJF scarf on, but it's all right, though.
Hey, she's playing both sides because MJF was talking real spicy to kick off the show. He made his official return to AEW TV in a good opening promo where let's check off the list. Body shamed Kazuchika Okada. He called Swerve a bad promo and made fun of Will Ospreay for being British before Roosh came out to interrupt and got into a promo exchange, which led into a very intense brawl between the two, kicking off their rivalry. You also had Rey Fenix picking up a big win as he beat Jay Lethal, Orange Cassidy, and Kyle O'Reilly to become the #1 contender to face Will Ospreay for the AEW International Championship next week on Dynamite. Also, this was Dynamite is Jericho. Hey, guys. Hi, guys. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks, guys. I am now officially SP3 because I am a mark for the learning tree. Chris Jericho and the learning tree were featured throughout the show, throughout the night in multiple backstage segments where he gave advice to others, including to Private Party about making their parties more open to everyone and inviting to them to TV time next week on the show. Meanwhile, in the women's division, you had Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Becker for AEW NJPW Forbidden Door was made into a title for title match after a very good video package. Meanwhile, Saraya picked up a surprising win over Mariah May. Post-match, Saraya and Harley Cameron jumped Timeless Tony Storm and May, leading to our favorite Mina Shirakawa to make the save and get into a tug of war over Mariah with Storm ahead of their Forbidden Door showdown. If you know me and you know my love for teen dramas, the best thing you can do in wrestling to me is a love triangle story, and this is my bag. Meanwhile, you had Mark Briscoe. He picked up the win over Brian Cage to qualify for the TNT Championship ladder match at Forbidden Door before Jack Perry talked a bunch of shit about him. Wheeler Yuta made his return to AEW since January for the Blackpool Combat Club to get the win over Team CMLL in a fun 8-man tag team matchup. And post-match, Bryan Danielson cut a very excellent promo, throwing his hat in the race for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, wanting to end his losing streak by winning and getting a shot at the AEW World title at All In. What do you think about Bryan Danielson becoming the first big name, I guess, officially in the men's Owen Hart tournament? And do you think this could be his last shot? And what would you think about the prospect of him winning the Owen and then main eventing All In against the winner of Swerve versus Ospreay?
I wouldn't mind that at all. I think that's actually a good idea, a good send off for him because when is he supposedly like finishing up? Like, do we know? Like,
his contract expires before Wembley.
Damn. Damn.
But I think he wants to work Wembley because he missed last year, so he'll extend it that long.
Right, right.
We're closing in on the end of his 1 year mark that he said last year.
Can we extend it till next year? But I guess he's just like.
Well, he's not going to be full time. He's not leaving completely.
Right. Okay. He's just going to be like, he's still going to work and do like parts. Like he's going to have like a Brock contract per se, correct?
Knowing Bryan Danielson, he's probably gonna work like 1 or 2 Dynamite or Collisions and then work pay-per-views. That's his form of part-time.
Hey, listen, 1 or 2 shows a month and then the pay-per-view. That's 3 shows. Great. That's more than Brock actually. So yeah. That's fine. That's fine. We want to see him more than Brock anyway, so.
Very true. Yeah. We don't have to worry about him him following people that shit on people's heads. So.
Yeah, and then fucking Chris Jericho, like he must have knew he was about to be canceled out. I swear, he must have known like this shit was coming. Once they booed his music and everything, he was all right, guys. I got to change this up really quickly. Like we got to figure this out. I can't have them doing this to me. So let's just become more obnoxious. And now I'm the learning tree, and I fucking like it. I can't stand it.
I love it. It's so obnoxious.
It is. That's the whole point of it all. Like I was like. At first, I was like, oh my God, this is actually fucking genius. And then every week, and then he does the whole like backstage stuff, giving people advice. Hi, guys. How's it going? Like he has like this. I'm like, this is fucking great, yo. I'm like, oh my God, why? Why do I have to like this? I don't want to like it, but I like it. I'm a branch.
My new name is the Olive Branch, SP Tree.
I like it. SP Tree. I like it a lot. Fucking Chris
or
Jericho.
the Learning 3.
The Learning 3. I like it. It's even better. Like you can't go no wrong. It's so good. It's so bad. Like but it's good. Like it's great. Like it's so.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. It's like a morning show for kids, and they just like overly like excited. Hi, my name is Chris, and how are you? What's your name?
We compared him to Steve from Blue's Clues.
Yes, it's like, and I actually like Steve. Steve was great. Steve put Steve in a bubble. No one touched Steve. Steve is someone that you cannot bother. Don't bother Steve at all.
And Jimmy did not like it, but I loved Brian Keefe as the angry black man of the Learning Tree, telling Angelo Parker, "Your baby better respect Chris Jericho."
Like, and he's like, we don't. That's okay. Like, it was a week before that where he was like, guys, it's all right. You don't have to be. It's okay. Like, no worry. Like Chris Jericho kind of calmed him down, but it was like.
There was so many good stuff in this week. I think it's gonna stay with me from this week's Dynamite. Like I said on Thursday, this was like most fun I had watching Dynamite in a few weeks. And I didn't even rate it that highly, but it just had fun watching it because you had lines like Tony Storm saying, "You know what they say? AEW is where the breasts wrestle."
No, Tony Storm, Mariah May, and Mina Shikara, like that, like her having both of them on her bosom was just, and they're just looking at each other like just like in awe because they're like, she's both sides, she's playing both sides. I wonder what she's gonna do when Forbidden Door happens. Like, is she gonna be like dressed partly like Tony Storm, and then the other half is like the champagne girl? Who knows? Like,
did you see the graphic?
No.
Oh my God, the graphic is so good. It has Mariah May in the background for Tony and for Mina Shirakawa.
I feel like it's like the mega powers exploding. It's like that. Like Miss Elizabeth is in the middle, and it's her.
If she comes out with both guys, yes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. She's gonna come out by herself, and then she's gonna root for both. Who are you gonna be? Whose corner are you gonna be? I'm gonna be in both of them. Like, it's gonna be all about Mariah. It's not even gonna be about those two. It's about Mariah May mostly.
I love it.
Great stuff. It's really great stuff. It was a solid Dynamite. I was so happy to see Wheeler Yuta. No one likes him, but I do. It's okay.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job with the graphic for Forbidden Door so far. Yeah. The moving graphics is cool, and then, like I said, that Mariah May in the background for both ladies was great. It was so great.
I'm gonna make sure I watch it on this week's Wednesday's episode to make sure I see it.
She's gonna be like that episode of Boy Meets World where Corey has to help Vader get the win in the matchup and be at Topanga's Sweet 16 party.
Great stuff. Great episode.
Great episode. Yes.
Great
one of my favorite Boy Meets World episodes ever.
And that Vader was what's her name's dad, right?
Yes, he's Frankie. Frankie
Frankie's dead.
Saccone. Frankie's dead. Absolutely. And he was first in Jake the Snake. It was great. Great
Right.
stuff. I was here for that.
Oh, you gotta love the 90s, man. Such nostalgia.
Yes, Tyrone Kid, I did see the movie one. They got a movie one where Mariah's in it. It's a full shot of Mariah's face, like a movie poster, and she has sunglasses on, and in one side of the sunglasses is Tony, the other side is Mina.
See, they're doing such good stuff.
Yo, the women's division is on the rise in AEW.
It
I
is.
saw
Like,
this morning, someone said, unpopular opinion, AEW has the best women's division in all of wrestling. And I would say that's not an unpopular opinion. I think that more and more people is realizing how hot the women's division is right now.
Yeah, between ROH, Collision, Dynamite, the women are getting at least 2 or 3 matches on the shows.
Yeah, they got 2 matches last night on Collision.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're getting at least 2 or 3 matches on, well, not 3, but 1 to 2 matches on each show. Excuse me. And then you have ROH, which will give you about 2 matches as well. So it's like they're. I guess they've understood the assignment now and understand that they needed more, more matches. Maybe not have stories, but they have matches though.
No, they got stories too with the whole love triangle with Mina,
that's
Mariah, and Tony. And then you got also kind of the unfinished business between Stephanie and Mercedes. Mercedes still has unfinished business with Willow. You got the story of Willow and Chris Statlander going on.
We haven't seen Willow since losing.
No. She was on Dynamite this week. She made the save for Orange after Chris Statlander popped him right in the mouth. She smacked. It was like that. I was like, damn. And then Willow made the save and cut a really good promo. And then they were both on Collision, which we'll get to in a bit. They were both on Collision, setting themselves up for the Owen Hart Cup as well. We'll talk about that in a few here. But we got a super chat.
Definitely not winning. She won last year, so she's not winning this year.
We don't know.
We can't have a repeater. Come on, guys.
Why not? Give Willow everything. She's the best. I feel like she's the person out of all this women's division has risen their stock the most.
True. Very, 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 very true. However, I feel like there's you got to see who else is in this cup. Then we can talk about like standings or whatever. Stats.
Well, we'll talk about the 3 that announced themselves for the cup on Collision, and we'll rank them when we get to that. Chuck Berry's with another super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chuck Berry's. You're killing the game.
Hold on. Let me look at this number.
I feel like Chuck Berry's with these 2 super chat donations. He's calling Will Chisholm out. Where the hell is Will Chisholm right now? Chuck Berry says,
"True.
Are we gonna see Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness before he decides to hang it up?" I say if Nigel is healthy enough, he's cleared to wrestle, you have Bryan make it all the way to the finals of the Owen, and Nigel screws him over to set up Nigel versus Bryan at Wembley Stadium.
Huh. Okay. All right.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I need. That's what I need as a long-time ROH mark. That's what I need. Yes, another woman's. Like I just named like 5 different stories they got going on, and then I missed out on Rosa and Deanna, which is they just announced last night they're gonna have a no DQ match on the 1-year anniversary of Collision next Saturday.
Really? Okay.
That's gonna be violent. If you know Thunder Rosa, and. Big announcement time here. We are sponsoring Thunder Rosa at Mission Pro Wrestling next Saturday. Big show. Mission Pro Wrestling is back June 15th. It's going to be available on Title Match Network. We're going to talk more about it throughout the week on any of our live streams that we have here. But Tru Heel Heat is going to be the official sponsor for Thunder Rosa. If you know us here, if you've been a long time supporter of the channel, we have always been the #1 channel when it comes to supporting Thunder Rosa. So we are doing it again with sponsoring her at Mission Pro Wrestling, the all-women's promotion that she created. So shout out to Thunder Rosa for sure.
Can't wait. Hopefully It's going to be great. I can't wait to see our names on the whole like board and all that stuff. It's gonna be good shit.
Such good shit. We also got here in the chat, a bunch of people saying the Willow and Statman. We also got MCAS who says the finals of the Owen are on Collision. No, they're on Dynamite. The July 10th edition of Dynamite is going to be in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So that's going to be the finals of the Owen Hart Cup.
They always do it in Canada, which I can respect and understand. So Martha doesn't have to really go far. So, it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. She could just get you a hop, skip, and a jump, make the drive down to the arena, and it's going to be during the Calgary Stampede as well. So should be a fun episode of Dynamite that week. Frantic World saying big congrats to THH, MCAS. Like I put the teaser on social media this week. Tru Heel Heat, we've been supporters of independent wrestling since we started. So always love, once a year to show our support to an independent promotion. And Thunder Rosa is someone that we have a long relationship with. We've interviewed her on the channel twice. And of course, she's on one of our bumpers to start off the shows as usual as well. So shout out to Thunder Rosa. But let's talk about the big news of the week, because the big news of the week, we're starting off AEW news with pretty much WWE news, because that's what's going to happen. But last night, PW Insider had a huge report reporting that Ricochet has given his notice to WWE that he will not be signing a new contract with the company and is intending to leave at the end of his contract, which is supposed to be expiring as soon as next month. It was previously reported that his deal is set to expire this summer after signing a 5-year deal in 2019. He is expected to be written out of WWE storyline soon to prepare for his exit. One source that spoke to PW Insider said that Ricochet deserves all the credit in the world for betting on himself. It was previously reported that there is expected to be a lot of interest in Ricochet once he becomes a free agent. We talked about it last week that his deal was expiring, and we talked about Will Ospreay's recent interview with comicbook.com, where he talked about being frustrated with the way WWE has used Ricochet, only using him on speed and 5-minute matches, or not really utilizing how he can be one of the best wrestlers in the world. It seemed like Will Ospreay was basically opening the forbidden door for Ricochet to walk on in. So this was a big news piece by PW Insider. Shout out to the guys there for that report. But what do you think about Ricochet leaving WWE? And what would you say 0 to 100 is your percentage on if he signs with AEW?
Can I just say I'm proud of him for saying, you know what, guys, I don't want to renew myself. This is my notice. I'm letting you not even try to make him stay or hold him hostage. You know what I'm saying? No, here I'm letting you know that I don't want this. I'm leaving. Here's my notice. I'm not coming back. Because then they'll try to say extend it and hold him there hostage longer. No, thank you. Bet on yourself like Ali and make yourself bigger than what. Well, you already were big before you even got there. That's what made them notice you. Yeah. So now you're he's probably been there 8 years maybe?
He's been there since 2018, 6 years.
Oh, 6 years. Okay, sorry. Anywho, you've only done you've done more on NXT than you did on the main roster. Bet on yourself and go. Happy for you, friend. And then with this, you can go many places. You can go if you go to once you go to AEW, you can do ROH. You can do TNA. Well, are they doing anything with TNA now since they started their little workmanship over on NXT with these people? So I don't even know.
I mean, the ratings for this week's TNA did not go up, even though Jordan Grace was on NXT the past 2 weeks.
Well, here you go. I mean, look at Ali and AJ Francis. Who would have thought?
Word. Mustafa Ali has been the
Well, I mean, we already
guy
kind of
on-
knew, right? We already kind of knew what Mustafa Ali could bring. They just didn't give it to him. They lost a diamond in the rough, and now look at him. More like AJ Francis. We didn't even really see him wrestle. I mean, he had that little malfunction when he fell off the ring, but other than that, like he's got a whole belt now. like who are we fooling? Like,
And he should. The digital media championship seems made for him.
perfect for him. This is exactly that was made for him. Yes, absolutely. This is good for you. Great job. Prove yourself. Because then they'll see, once they see you start doing, you got to bet on yourself. If Cody Rhodes didn't teach you anything, bet on yourself.
But
Brian,
I've been saying it the past couple of weeks. There's a lot of guys in AEW that I think at the end of their contracts, they're probably better suited to sign up with WWE. Someone who's young, like
right.
Hook, could gain a lot by signing with WWE and working in NXT. Someone like Ricky Starks, we are seeing right now with Ethan Page, who left AEW and immediately has a top spot on NXT. If Ricky Starks leaves AEW, he could be NXT champion like tomorrow. Wardlow is another one who could gain a lot by going over to NXT and being in a top spot over there.
Sure,
but
if they can make the Steiner boys son a big star, they can make doggone Wardlow a big ass star. They don't, and they do the same stuff.
Yeah,
pretty much carbon copy.
No, not really. I think Braun has way more charisma than Wardlow, but that's me. But I would say when I looked at the WWE roster, and I said this back in like January of this year, if there was one guy who I was like, he should be in AEW because he has a much higher ceiling in AEW than he will ever have in WWE, it was Ricochet. Ricochet does the in-house style that AEW really values.
Yep.
So the worst case scenario for him in AEW is being a mid-card guy that is wrestling almost every week in great matches. That's the worst case scenario for him. If he goes to AEW and he's having banger matches and having the best match every night, he is going to automatically elevate up the card because that's how Tony Khan books. He books the people that give him the best matches all the time. That's what he does. Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy, like these guys have MJF, Darby Allin, these guys got over in AEW because they were delivering each and every week out. So the worst case scenario for Ricochet is being a mid-card guy that has a spot where he's having great matches, or he could be one of the main guys in the upper mid-card to main event scene in AEW. I would never see him in an upper mid-card to main event spot in WWE. So that is why this seems like the right move to me, to the point that I would go as high as 85%. I think he signs with AEW.
I agree with that because it is the style of wrestling that he's comfortable with, that he wants to do. In WWE, they only want it for convenience. So when it's like for a big pay-per-view show like WrestleMania, something huge to like make people like shocked by, oh, Ricochet, jump out the ring and do this stuff right here. That's when they only really want to call on him. Other than that, they don't want like it. They don't want him there really to do much of these like big dramatic things, if that makes sense. So yeah, I agree. He can definitely be there for like 85%. He should go there.
Yeah. And it really kind of says that WWE doesn't really value like the high flying wrestlers like they did at one point with like the Rey Mysterios and guys like that. They've always been looking for like the next Mexican star, but they haven't been looking for like the next high flyer and really valuing them in a point where they're used in a more consistent fashion or get a consistent push in the company. And I think that he would be more valued by Tony Khan in AEW. That's why I want to see this move. And I'm very excited with the fact that he's betting on himself and making that move.
Yes, I agree. More super chats. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
We got Andy in the chat. Thanks for joining us again, good brother. He says, who will win the ladder match for the TNT Championship at Forbidden Door? My pick is Jack Perry, the scapegoat.
I like that. I like that. That I think he should bring him back, make him more like make him relevant for a reason. You know, like why did you bring him back? Put him in a top spot.
Absolutely.
And he's with the champs now too, so you might as well give him a belt. Like that's the only one that's missing.
He got to fit in. He got to fit in with the group and get a belt. We got Frantic World, who that's the first thing I thought of. Will Ospreay versus Ricochet at All In London. Book it, Tony Khan. Yes, that needs to happen. That needs to happen. If he signs with this company, as his contract expires, say on July 1st, sign him up, get him ready, build it up. You could make it an open challenge and make him like a surprise person at All In, or you can have him come back and build to that matchup for like a month or two before Wembley Stadium. But I know Will, and he's going to want that matchup so badly, almost immediately.
Great.
We got MCAS who says Prince Puma versus Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, and Rey Fenix. All of those matches sound ridiculous. Straight cash money, straight cash, homie. He says we also got a difference of opinion. Power driver finisher. He says we've all seen the Ospreay versus Ricochet match. I just don't see Ricochet like that anymore. That's just me. Maybe it's because WWE has got you into this kind of like box of what they view Ricochet as. It translates to the fans a lot of times, because Ricochet, when he first came to WWE, it was like, oh, wow, they got Ricochet. He's like the best high flyer out there. Now he's kind of gone down the rungs because they didn't utilize him in that fashion or make him into the best high flyer in the world like they have with Will Ospreay in New Japan and now transitioning into AEW. But Will is so much better than he was in 2016, 2017, that a Will Ospreay versus Ricochet matchup would be even better now, honestly.
I can't wait to see it, because I never seen it unless you seen rematch. I didn't get to see it live, so I would love to see that now.
We got Alex Powell. He says Ricochet versus Takeshita. Oh,
ooh,
that'd be dope. We actually got Negro Buck, who makes a good point, saying and he can keep his name. Yeah, he owns the rights for his name as well, so he can keep Ricochet. After nice WWE.
I'm sure that pissed him off.
Sabet says 80% chance that Ricochet is signing with AEW, so he's going pretty high as well. Frantic World saying, didn't Triple H said that WWE wrestlers are not interested in going to AEW? Well, I guess he lied. LOL.
Well, even Triple H didn't even talk to nobody and believe that shit. So, whatever.
Yeah, it's true. We got Negro Buck, who says, I'm sure he'll pop up in Japan too. Yeah, they work with Japan. So yeah, they work with New Japan. So I think we could see him in the Best of Super Juniors again, or even in the G1. That would be cool if he moved up to the heavyweight scene. Dion Jenkins saying he's been US and IC champion. That is true on the main roster. So he hit his ceiling there. That is his ceiling. That was his ceiling in WWE. It is true. We also got Negro Buck, who says, I know everyone is talking about him running it back with Ospreay, but I definitely need to see Ricochet versus Mustafa. Yeah, they had really good matches on main event on WWE, and had a few matches I think on Monday Night Raw as well. But it's different if it's outside of that WWE umbrella.
Because now, they don't have to dumb it down. These people are you want to do those? They're going to give them the Darby Allin thing. You want to do that? Go right ahead. You want to lose a limb? We're all for it. How much ratings are we going to get?
Kevin Abreu with an interesting quote here. He says, don't hate me for this, but what's so special about Ricochet? I don't remember Ricochet great promo or great storyline WWE. He's not about that. And not everybody needs to be a great promo or a great storyline person. You could be a great wrestler. And I think that's what he wants to do. He wants to wrestle some of the best in the world. He wants to be on television more consistently than he was in WWE. And I have seen Ricochet in great storylines, just not in WWE. I've seen him in great storylines in Lucha Underground. I've seen him battle it out with Will Ospreay and Kushida in New Japan, where he became a big name and put his name on the map, where it led to WWE signing him. Just because WWE didn't utilize utilize him in that fashion doesn't mean that he can't cut a great promo or that he can't be in a great storyline. Like I said before, don't let WWE and how they viewed Ricochet make you view him in the same fashion. We got here. Power Driver Finisher says, like he does a lot of AEW moves, in my opinion. They come off as not safe, but too choreographed. Granted, some of the AEW high flyers do it too, but it's so evident with small guys like Ricochet. I think that Ricochet does it well. I don't think it comes off choreographed. He can be very smooth. It's just in the spots that they used him in WWE. Yeah, it did come off kind of telegraphed or choreographed in a way.
That's fine. Hey, listen, it's okay.
Yeah. It's totally fine. We also got here in the chat, Dion Jenkins saying, hopefully Samantha doesn't leave with him. That's a big loss for WWE. I know our good friend, your co-host on Serving Face and Heels said this on Twitter, and I will echo this. Not every couple needs to work together. It's okay. It's okay not to work in the same company.
Right. And I think that's what they're missed. That's the part, like the yearning of being together. They'll have the time. Like his schedule will be different from hers. He can always fly to her. He can always meet to her. Like he can see her on the weekends. Like it's always different. So it's okay. And I think they probably had this talk. He's like, babe, I need to really, and she's probably like echoing like, yes, babe, I am behind you 100%.
We got Wrestling Maniac, the good brother over at Rest Things in the chat. Thanks for joining us. He says, what's up, y'all? I hope Ricochet is seeing Kyle O'Reilly's current booking, high-profile positions, high-profile losses. I think this is Ricochet's future in AEW. If you think that Will Ospreay ain't going to try to work and politic Ricochet into at least a title win, you don't know the same Will Ospreay I do. I know Will Ospreay. I know Tony Khan. He's a sicko. Just because Ricochet will have better matches, he will put him in a high profile position, and maybe he'll get some high profile losses. But I think he will get I think he may get a title win before Kyle O'Reilly does. And even with Kyle O'Reilly getting the high profile losses last night on the Collision, they gave us a little hint that it's leading to a story with him finally getting back with Undisputed Kingdom, which he should have done from when he came back. But they wanted to play this out.
Yep. And that's fine. We'll take it. Whatever. Like, totally fine. No worries.
We also got Tyro Kid who says Ricochet is taking Scorpio Sky spot.
Kind of is, though.
For that.
Yeah.
You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that.
Okay.
He also, Tyrell says, I think Ricochet is great in AEW because he can be a mentor to the next generation of high flyers, and he can give them the right amount of entertainment to make the big craft spot make sense. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, he's going to be, and I just want to see him tear it up with this roster. This roster this is one of the best times that this AEW roster has ever had, and adding someone like Ricochet is only going to help. And I don't see him like, he may push it, just how wrestling works. He is going to push someone out of their spot. That's how it works. But I think he's good enough to earn that.
Right. Absolutely. You don't always have to push someone out. It's okay. You come there, you just want to just do good work and put on great matches. Can't everyone just do that?
Yeah, and like I said, WrestleMania saying, politicking Ricochet into his current ceiling, Continental title, International title, TNT title. If he's happy with that, all the power to him. I think he's just going to be happy with being more consistently used than he was
on
in
TV.
WWE.
Yes,
and having longer than 3-minute matches.
I don't even think it's like even about like a title. I think it's just more so like he just wants to wrestle good matches.
Yeah,
and be put on more pay-per-views.
Yeah, and I think like
for a lot Collision, it's over.
From what we're hearing in the chat, a lot of y'all need to be reintroduced to how good Ricochet really is. Because I've seen him only in the WWE bubble for 6 years. Ricochet with no chains off, I think the ceiling is actually higher than what you think it is.
Not the chains, bro. Oh man.
I'm sorry, we say it all the time. When person calls Mercedes Sasha Banks, I'll be like, don't call her a slave name. When you go to WWE, you got chains on. It don't matter if it's Vince McMahon in charge, Triple H in charge, Barack Obama in charge. It don't matter. You're in chains. That's how it is. It's just how it is. They tell you, oh, you can't do that move. You can't do that move. You can't do that move. You do these 5 moves and you just do it and you spread it out throughout the matchup. That's what they basically tell you. And yeah, he wants not to look like a total joke, which he was at sometimes in WWE, unfortunately. That is not the forbidden door swings both ways of people who might leave WWE to go to AEW. Someone might leave AEW to go to WWE, as according to a new report by Lucha Libre Online. Penta El Zero Miedo's AEW contract is believed to expire later this summer in August or September. His contract is suspended to come up at that time this year. Additionally, it said that WWE has strong interest in signing Penta if he becomes a free agent. The Wrestling Observer newsletter also added that Penta is now looking into how to gain the rights, his copyright rights of his name. So if WWE comes a calling, he could use the name in that promotion as well. Penta has been part of the AEW roster since the company began in 2019. During his run, he has held the AEW tag team titles with Rey Fenix as the Lucha Bros, and he has also held the AEW World Trios titles with Phoenix and Pac as part of Death Triangle. What do you think about Penta possibly leaving AEW and the strong interest from WWE?
I don't think he's leaving. If you want to be a slave over in WWE, don't go. Yeah, don't keep. Because they're just gonna put you with all the other Spanish wrestlers. Sorry, they're just gonna put you. Look at if Andrade didn't teach you anything. That's my stance on it.
That is true. That's definitely true. That is true. That is true for sure. I honestly, I wouldn't even say Andrade is the example that I would tell Penta. I would tell Penta, look at the booking of Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee came to this company last year and he felt like he was a hot free agent. When he was on NXT, he was doing very, very well. And he basically is now on the Ricochet path. He had a good run in NXT for a year, and now he's on the main roster, lost in the shuffle in LWO.
And he keep having the same 3 matches with the same 3 people.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that Penta's booking in AEW is blowing me away. I think that they could do more with him and use him and Phoenix in the tag team division more often because they are one of the best tag teams in the world. But I don't see his ceiling being higher in WWE than it is in AEW.
Correct. I agree. I totally agree. You do more. Don't just do all just the trio stuff or just when it's convenient to just have like high flyers, like give standing great, matches and give credible things, not when it's just necessary.
Yeah. What I'm saying by chains, if you're not understanding Sean Ireland, he says, did Ethan Page have chains on in AEW? No, there's no chains. No. You could do what you want. You can you have that freedom to say what you want and present your character how you want. But there are times that AEW just has bad booking. And Redcat said, yeah, they didn't book. Yeah. They didn't book and utilize. They don't book and utilize some people. I just named off 3 people that they haven't been booking well and utilizing well. Hook, Ricky Starks, Wardlow, and Ethan Page was in that boat as well. And you see him, like I said, he immediately left AEW and he's in a top spot in NXT. And NXT is a little bit more freedom, as we keep saying. We saw it with Dragon Lee. We saw it with Ricochet. These guys have better runs in NXT than they do on the main roster, whether Vince is in charge or Triple H is in charge, because there's only so much talent that they can use at a top position or upper mid-card position.
Yep.
We got Tyrone Kidd who says, look at Andrade. He was free and then he was caught. Oh shit. Andrade was like, I'm free, but I don't really realize it. I'd rather have, a nice house. I'd rather be a house nigga. It was Krssi Love's reaction that popped me there. Wallaby says he doubts that Penta is leaving as well. And we also got a super chat donation from the good brother Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. He says, how about getting Will and Ricochet together to win the AEW World Tag Team titles against the Elite? I didn't even think about that, but imagine a Ricochet and Will Ospreay tag team.
Bananas.
That's like the next generation. Like, man, I wish they would do WWE versus AEW tag teams, because those two versus like Axiom and Nathan Frazier would be bonkers.
It would, and you know what's so sad? And it will probably never happen. But if, Paul, we're not even going to say Triple H, if Paul put on his business man hat attire and talked to what's his partner's name? Ari Gold. What's that man name?
Nick Khan.
Nick Khan. Sorry. See, I know. I thought I was gonna say Tony
said
Khan.
Ari Gold. Said Ari Gold. You talk about You talk about Endeavor. Ari Emanuel.
Yes, Ari Emanuel. Talk to these guys, right? Talk to them, and you're like, listen, we can do it we can do it at Wembley. We can do it somewhere big, like you got to get a big stadium. It got to be somewhere huge. It has to be outside somewhere, something that's going to hold a lot of people. And you do a mashup between AEW and WWE, it's fucking golden, but it'll never happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll never say never, but I don't foresee it happening because of the egos that are Paul Levesque and the people that work over there. Tony Khan be like, sure, when do we want to do this? We can do that at my stadium for all we know. I have a stadium. I already have the space. We could do it right here. It's okay. Come to Florida.
Dog.
You guys like Florida anyway.
That is true. We got here in the chat a bunch of comments. Keep coming with the comments. Keep coming with the super chat donations. We got Evan Cassie says, SP3, did you see BBG employ the Bang Bang Gang employed the Freebird rule with the trios title? Now we get singles. Jay White also love Excalibur saying, how do you split 9 belts among 4 people? We're gonna get into Rampage in a bit here. Don't you worry. And we also got a good question. Where is the Motor City Machine Guns? That was the big talk. I remember Bodyslam.net made that report that they were coming to AEW. That was back in like April. Hey, I don't know. Maybe we see Motor City Machine Guns signed with WWE. I love it. I love your reaction. Oh, I didn't even think of this one. But this would be ridiculous. MCAS says, by the way, can't wait for that Ricochet versus Vikingo match. That's gonna hump. That's gonna hump and make someone pregnant. Oh my God, that's gonna be ridiculous. Yeah, and so there's been a lot of maybe it's AEW more employing like a WWE thing of we'll sign you, but we're gonna keep you and get you ready before we're ready for you. When we're ready for you, we'll put you in the mix. Maybe that's what they're doing with like the Camille's, the Megan Baines, the Motor City Machine Guns. Right now, they don't necessarily need them until I guess when they rev up for All In, maybe.
True, very true.
We also got Dion answering you saying that ain't happening because WWE is Weinstein, according to Tony Khan.
You know
You'd be a hypocrite to work with them.
Fine, guys.
And now Alex Paul is thinking about the ratings. Ricochet versus Jeff Jarrett. That's gonna put butts in the seats.
Really, Alex? Sure.
Oh man, but finally, we got more AEW news as AEW and Tony Khan have brought the Bloods and the Crips together. AAA and CMLL have a notorious acrimonious relationship with one another, which has prevented companies like AEW from using both companies' talent on the same show. This even extended to CMLL's partners, which is why wrestlers like the Lucha Bros and Roosh were unable to work Forbidden Door matches in the past at past events. Now it seems the Forbidden Door is open wider, as both Ray Phoenix and Roosh worked Wednesday night's Dynamite along with CML talents Rugo, Magnus, Espinish, and Volador Jr. In the latest episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that CMLL and AAA have worked out their issues, and AAA talents will be able to be part of Forbidden Door this year. According to Meltzer, money and exposure are why CMLL softened their stance. He said, Tony Khan said that they have pretty much worked it out. So that means that Forbidden Door, that Roosh and Phoenix, all these guys can appear on it. Money talks, I guess. Tony Khan's really been a good partner for New Japan, and he's trying to be a good partner for CMLL. And I guess CMLL got less stubborn as they are trying to expose their guys in this country. I mean, it makes more sense for them, and CMLL guys are getting more and more work in this country. There's even talk of CMLL trying to do shows in this country. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think they'll do one on their own, but time will tell. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that CMLL is only okay with Mexican-born wrestlers who haven't worked for AAA in a while appearing on the same show as their talent. This is why Phoenix was allowed, as he hasn't worked for AAA since October of 2022. As for Roosh, the belief is that since he was in a non-wrestling segment, that was also approved. CMLL has been okay with non-wrestling appearances from non-CMLL Mexican talent on shows in the past. As for Penta El Zero Mero, AEW currently believes they will be able to use him, as the last time he worked for AAA was in November, while he did work an AAA affiliated event with EMW in Tijuana in February and was advertised for another in April. Angels promotions in Sierra Orez on April 14th. AEW still thinks he will be able to work shows that CMLL talent appear on. It's also believed Bandito would be able to if he was cleared by then. And however, talent like Commander and El Hijo del Vikingo, who were recent champions in CMLL, would not be allowed. Either way, it's believed this new policy will include the upcoming Forbidden Door pay-per-view. The Bloods, he got the Bloods and the Crips to sit down at a table and be like, y'all gotta work the same blocks.
Out, yeah.
Y'all can work the same blocks, but y'all gotta be on opposite sides of the streets.
Look at them, bringing the world together. Great job, Tony.
Good job, Tony. Good job. He was like, I'm gonna be your supplier. I'm gonna supply for the Bloods. I'm gonna be supply for the Crips. He gave him a whole big bag of cocaine for them to take back to Mexico. Seems legit to me.
Seems perfect.
Seems legit to me.
Yep.
Thank you. Power Driver Finisher. He says S Ben Hey is how you pronounce it.
Thank you.
I'm still gonna botch that when he appears again. Don't worry. We got Negro Buck. He says Tony was really able to broker the peace treaty. Absolutely, the Mexican peace treaty. Yeah. That's what I said. Temple Place. I said Commander and Vikingo were champions in AAA. That's why they're not going to be able to appear on the shows, because of CMLL. Listening is fundamental. We also got in the chat for Frantic World, who says if Tony Khan can get 3 women from CMLL to face Las Toxicas on a Forbidden Door pay-per-view, history will be made. Can't wait for it. But then, final AEW news before we get into last night's Collision. Bunch of notes from AEW Dynamite and recent AEW news. Fightful Select had additional notes on AEW from last week's shows. AEW International Champion and #1 contender for the AEW World Title, Will Ospreay, is reportedly being given the week off after a full week working AEW Double or Nothing, Dynamite, and the Collision TV tapings. Ospreay is expected to be back next week. He is, of course, going to be challenging Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Title at Forbidden Door later this month. Meanwhile, Fightful also reports that Dr. Big Baker DMD was in Los Angeles last week, where AEW Dynamite was held at the Kia Forum. However, it's unknown if she was backstage at the Dynamite TV tapings or not. As noted, Leo Rush made a surprise appearance on the post Double or Nothing edition of Dynamite in the Casino Gauntlet matchup. Fightful reports that AEW is open to the idea of using Leo Rush in the future, but nothing definite has been heard on when he might be used again. And then finally, Warner Brothers Discovery is reportedly happy with the direction of AEW Dynamite's ratings over the past few weeks. PW Insider reports that a source in WBD said that they've been very pleased with the upward trend for Dynamite's numbers over the past 4 weeks. This week's episode hit the show's highest marks in 8 weeks, and the site also notes that there is expected to be integration on AEW television for Shark Week. Once again, the WBD programming week kicks off on July 7th, and AEW has run Shark Week tie-ins for the past couple of years. So WBD, we'll find out very soon as that negotiation window with WBD expires in July. So we got to wait and see if they get that new deal. But I'm saying, I think by Tony Khan been on Twitter and saying that he's booking for the sickos and all this, I think that he will eventually we will eventually hear something about this TV deal.
It has to be coming soon. He's probably got to finalize all the contracts and whatnot, see all the loopholes or whatever. But I'm sure it's coming for sure. It's time.
Yeah,
it's really about time. Everybody's sick of Bleacher Report.
You want them on Max already, right?
I mean, just come on already. Like, figure it out.
AEW Collision last night. The show featured Orange Cassidy defeating Kyle O'Reilly in a great main event matchup. Post-match, you had the Don Callis families, Trent Beretta and Kyle Fletcher jumped OC until O'Reilly made the save, but the numbers got the better of the baby faces. When Chris Statlander came down to join the beatdown, it was Willow Nightingale who came down to make the real save at the end of the night. Meanwhile, you had FTR and the Blackpool Combat Club's Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli battle to a 20-minute time limit draw and a terrific opener to the show. Post-match, Dax Harwood called for 5 more minutes, but it was the EVP's assistant, Brandon Cutler, who came down and said that the match was only scheduled for a 20-minute time limit, so no more time was allowed, which led to BCC and FTR beating him up. Chris Statlander beat Robin Renegade. Post-match, Stokely Hathaway cut a good promo, entering Statlander into the 2024 Owen Hart Cup tournament. Later in the night, you also had Willow Nightingale also entered herself into this year's tournament as well, in another good promo from Willow. Timeless Tony Storm, she picked up a win over Lady Frost. Post-match, Storm said that she wanted to comfort and support Mariah May in every way possible and give her opportunities that she got in the past. So she has entered Mariah May into the Owen Hart Foundation tournament as well. So 3 big names in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Cup. We also got Dustin Rhodes. He picked up a win over Johnny TV. Post-match, Dustin cut a spirited promo on Scapegoat Jack Perry ahead of their TNT Championship qualifying matchup this Wednesday on Dynamite. Over on Rampage, baby, the show featured Mina Shirakawa beating Serena Deeb in a very good main event matchup. Post-match, it was Mariah May who came out to celebrate, but was caught by Timeless Tony Storm before May made the Forbidden Door opponent shake hands, and they both snatched Mariah May and fought over her again.
I love this. It's like they're fighting over their daughter or something. Like it's like the bad divorce and like who's getting the child.
The Bang Bang Gang picked up a squash win in Juice Robinson's return match. Post-match, Jay White anointed Juice as 1/4 of the unified AEW World Trios Champions. The Gates of Agony, they picked up a win over Private Party. Meanwhile, Penta El Zero Mero, in the midst of his contract talks and news, he picked up a win over The Butcher in a solid opener on Rampage. What do you think? So we said we were going to talk about it. So 3 big names for the Women's Owen Hart Cup this year. You got Kris Statlander, you got Willow Nightingale, you got Mariah May. Who do you think out of those 3 has the best chance to win this year's tournament?
I wouldn't be mad if Mariah May won because she's piping hot right now. Keep her like more like on top, and she's in this big feud. So I wouldn't be mad if Mariah May won, but I also think Kris Statlander is really good too. So it can go, and it's not a bad. Either one of the 3 are not a bad decision. You have like your double winner, but I would go Mariah, Kris, then Willow. Like if it's in an order.
I would go Mariah, Statlander, and Willow. I think that Statlander and Willow maybe face in the semifinals, and the winner of that faces Mariah May in the finals. Mariah May was my pick to win the Owen Hart Cup. Once it became for a shot at the AEW Women's World Championship, it just made all the sense in the world for Mariah May to win the tournament. And now it would make so much sense for her to win the tournament, considering it was the champion that put her in the tournament.
Correct. Exactly.
So I'm here.
So it makes it more of like more of a longer story for it to be Mariah, because now she has to go against her protege per se. And it's all your fault because you shouldn't have put me in this match in the first place.
Yeah. Facts. We got MCats in the chat. He says Collision was a banger. The opener and the close to the show, the main event, were very good matches to bookend that show last night. Really enjoyed that. And I forgot the other big news: Orange Cassidy picking up the win in the main event. Zack Sabre Jr. challenged him for Forbidden Door, saying that he has unfinished business with Orange Cassidy. What do you think about ZSJ versus, as he coined them, freshly squeezed orange bollocks?
I love it. I'm here for it all. This is great shit. And I hope Zack Sabre Jr. wins too.
Absolutely. I need Zack to win. I need Zack to win all the matches. We also got AJ Marshall, who says, do y'all like Kris Statlander's new entrance? I loved it. I was like, whoa, I'm here for this.
The whole heel turn, everything is like, it just turned it up a whole notch.
Yes. The new Tron, she had a new Tron, new like dark entrance, new theme music. It was really good. Really enjoyed that. Frantic World says, could we see Mariah May versus Saraya again in the Owen Hart tournament? That should be the final 4 right there. Willow, Stat, Mariah May, and Saraya. So yeah, Mariah can get her wig back.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good group of solid girls like that can like make this tournament really, really good and give banger matches.
We got Vala B, who says ZSJ doesn't work Forbidden Door. It's the naughty door. Yeah, he says I'm gonna go through the naughty door. We also got Negro Buck, who says, so what do you guys think Dragon is gonna be doing at Forbidden Door? He already told us, the Owen Hart Cup. So I think maybe he faces someone from either CMLL or New Japan in the first round of the Owen Hart Cup.
True.
He could wrestle a New Japan legend like Punk did last year. Why not? And yes, Alex, yes, the other thing on the 1-year anniversary of Collision, Christian Cage's Father's Day special. Can't wait. Can't wait. Sign me up. Sign me up right now. Buy me a ticket. It's going to be wonderful. Wonderful stuff.
Mother Wayne always coming out. Nick Wayne. It's actually something I thought was really stupid has turned into something really, really good.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it so much. But not everybody's enjoying AEW. Like Kevin Kelly, whose tenure with AEW ended in March. He recently detailed his exit as well as his issues with Ian Riccaboni. The announcer joined AEW in June of 2023 to do play-by-play on Collision, but stopped short in March when he was reportedly fired from the company. It was reported at the time that Kelly's social media post, which accused Riccaboni of libel for accusing him of spreading Quinyon theories through his support of the controversial hit film Sound of Freedom were the reasons for his release. On whether Ricochet was plotting against him, he said, sure felt like it. It still makes no sense. Ian Ricochet, I met him at the Monster Factory. Bob Evans said to me, you need to meet him. He's really good and special. You should get a look for Ring of Honor. I went to the seminar, met him. Let's see how you do. Come on with me, and we'll start doing some local shows. He made some long drives and did it the right way. He called dark matches and Woman of Honor, so it would be unique and different branding. We got along great and worked together for shows. Everything was fine. When Joey Mercury left, I found out Ian was putting the mouth on me in the office after I was gone because I went to New Japan. I talked to some people about it, and I was like, I'm not going to worry about it. On joining AEW and his issues with Ricochet, he said, I start doing AEW, and he was also on shows at that time. And he said that I wanted Ian Ricochet to do, Tony Khan told me I wanted Ian Ricochet to do Collision, but he couldn't because of his day job. So Ian recommended me. Great, cool. I go away to the G1. It was 5 weeks. I come back and Ian is talking about me on Discord and a New Japan message board that I did all these different things to him over the years, which I never knew. I had no clue. To top it all off, he accused me of some conspiracy theorists for supporting a movie that was against child trafficking. That's neither here nor there. The part that bothers me so much is that I thought we were friends. If he would have called me, we could have talked about it. Hey, Kevin, listen, you're really pissing me off. Even if we would have agreed to never be friends, and he would have called me up to say, fuck you, I hate you, I never want to see you again. At least I would have known where I stood. Then I could work towards fixing what I had done wrong. On his tenure with AEW ending, he says, then things started to change within AEW. It was never a good fit, me being there. I came from New Japan where I was left alone and I knew what I was doing. I was calling matches that were just like AEW, and all of a sudden now I have all these people in my ear and all this format stuff. Why do we have to do things the same way Dynamite is? That's what I said. Why do we have to be the same show? Don't we want Collision to be different? Whether it was split because of CM Punk and the Bucks, I have no idea. That was never brought up. It was a separate show, Saturday night. Let's make it different and do different things. Yeah. I'm different than Taz, Excalibur, and Shivani. The handwriting was on the wall. It wasn't going to work, and I was getting more and more pissed off. I talked to the AEW office about it. I talked to them, and I told them I was mentally getting in a bad spot over this too. I vented, and when I vented, that's when they let me go. No harm, no foul with AEW. Big blame there. I was willing to straighten things out with Ian. I feel terrible that he was mad at me over something that he never told me, and it led to a bunch of different problems. And on if he has any ill feelings towards AEW, he says, of course, I wouldn't treat my worst enemy like that.
Wow. What is this, high school?
I mean, it was very weird. It was a very weird fallout and a very quick fallout that Kevin Kelly had with AEW. And yes, everything changed when he went away for the G1 because Ian Ricochet was actually better alongside Nigel McGuinness than he was. That's when everything changed.
Right. I'm just sad how like the way the events went down, though, if that makes sense. Like, these are grown men. Like, you should have just talked it out or said anything, or like say, hey, Tony, like I'm having this issue. I don't know how to approach. Like, what should we do? And go from there. So it's really unfortunate. Like, but I mean, his style didn't really go with them. But hey.
And I really like Kevin Kelly. I've always had a good, rapport with him, talking to him on social media and stuff. He wished me a happy birthday last year when he was calling New Japan during the Best of Super Juniors, but it just didn't work out in AEW. He just didn't mesh well with them.
Yeah.
We got Power Driver Finisher who says, like, I know we don't know much more than Kevin Kelly, but the Punk stuff also aligned with what he said about doing Collision differently. Yeah. 100%. That is true. That is true. We got Alex who says Kevin Kelly best was when he was with Don Callis in Prime New Japan. He was really good with Don Callis in ROH as well. So I mean, with Steve Corino in ROH, he was really good. So
I like Don on commentating when he does sit down with people. So I mean, hey, you can't mess with everybody.
I'm hoping Kevin can find a spot somewhere in the future, though. So shout out to Kevin Kelly, and hopefully he can move on and he's mentally in a better space now that he's not with AEW. The Wrestling Observer newsletter had a report about the reason why Commander and the Beast Mortos have not been on AEW television. And of course, it is due to, guess what? It's a Mexican wrestler. So it's visa issues. Both wrestlers have been in Mexico working on getting their visas renewed. That process is done, and they are now waiting on the physical copies. Both will likely return as soon as that happens. Beast Mortos, which just had his whole gimmick change and was working on Collision a bit, so hopefully he can get back. And Commander is someone that I've been saying been missing from Ring of Honor because he would fit in very nicely with that TV title scene that they're building up over there. But last AEW note, as previously reported, Paige Van Sant is believed to be done with All Elite Wrestling after signing with them back in 2022. The news was made official recently as the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports she has been removed from the AEW roster page. She had been on that page for some time, even after she left the company. It is possible that her contract only just now expired, even though they stopped working together years ago. Others removed were Jake Hager, Arn Anderson, and Mark Henry, who all left the company in recent weeks. We talked about those last week. So bunch of changes to the roster page, bunch of people leaving. But let's close the loop to the converse with Ring of Honor this week. The show featured Kyle Fletcher defeating Dalton Castle in a pretty good match to retain the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Post-match, Lee Johnson staked his claim to a rematch with Fletcher, which set up a 2 out of 3 falls match for the gold coming up soon. Meanwhile, you had ROH Women's TV Champion Billy Starks in a proving ground matchup, picking up the win against Zamaya. Post-match, Red Velvet came out to brawl with Billy, and in the main event, it was Dark Order beat Johnny TV, Griff Garrison, and Cole Carter, as well as the team of the Iron Savages and Jack Jameson in a 3-way trios matchup. So good win for the Dark Order in the main event there. But that was all from the Converse this week, because we got to go over to Japan, Miss Krssi Love, as they had 2 huge shows this week. You had the Best of Super Juniors semifinals on Monday, and then this morning was New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion. But first, with the semifinals, the show featured on Monday Taiji Ishimori defeating TJP in a tremendous bout to advance to the finals. Meanwhile, you had Doki going up against El Desperado, with Despy picking up the victory in a great main event to set up Despy versus Ishimori in the Best of Super Juniors 31 finals in the main event of Dominion for the first time ever. And that took us to this morning. I was up early, 8 a.m. here in the UK. Man, it was a trip being up that early. I haven't been up that early in the UK like ever, but I was for this show. The show featured.
I want to say, at least you didn't have to wake up like earlier, like you do when you're on the East Coast.
That is true. That it would have been 3 a.m. on the East
That's
Coast.
what I'm saying. So you kind of got to like get your full night's sleep, I guess, per se. Well, not.
Yeah,
really.
I went to sleep. I went to sleep when Collision said Dustin Rose was next, so I went to sleep at that point.
You know what?
El Desperado was in the main event, finally defeating Taiji Ishimori in a superb main event matchup to win the Best of Super Juniors 31 tournament. Post-match, it was IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Show who came out to interrupt the celebration, but Despy challenged the House of Torture member to a steel cage match for his title after Show said he would beat Despy on his own after he cheated and used the House of Torture to beat him for the title in the first place months ago. Meanwhile, you had Shingo Takagi and Hanare in a hard-hitting, blistering encounter that went to a draw after a double knockout finish for the Never Openweight Championship. Jeff Cobb defeated Tomohiro Ishii in an absolute banger to retain the NJPW World Television Championship. Post-match, Jeff Cobb challenged anyone from AEW for his title at Forbidden Door.
Wow.
PMDK beat Bishamon, Bullet Club, and GOD to finally win the IWGP and NJPW Strong Tag Team Champions. They are the undisputed tag team champions in NJPW now. And then you also had the Los Ingonables de Japón's Yodosuji Bushi and Hiromu Takahashi beat Hiroshi Tanahashi, Bolton Oleg, and Toriyano to win the Never Openweight 6-man tag team titles, with Suji pinning the president, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Great Okan defeated Yuya Uemura in a Storm Catch Rules matchup to win the KOPW 2024 Provisional Championship. And it was Jon Moxley who beat Evil. Yes, thank the Lord. I was doing prayer circles all morning with my kids as Jon Moxley retained against Evil in a lumberjack death match to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Post-match, Moxley made a challenge to anyone to step up for the gold, which led to none other than the former champion Tetsuya Naito, who came out and accepted the challenge. So at Forbidden Door, it will be the rematch. IWGP World Heavyweight title, Tetsuya Naito versus Jon Moxley. Man, this Forbidden Door lineup is stacked already. Naito and Moxley 3, Swerve and Ospreay, Mina Shirakawa and Toni Storm with Mariah May in the middle, Mercedes Moné and Stephanie Becerra title for title, the multi-man ladder match for the TNT title, and ZSJ versus Orange Cassidy. I'm kind of mad I'm not in New York.
I'm on the fence because I really want to go, but then I don't want to leave Long Island at like 1:30 in the morning.
Getting out that parking lot, I know it's going to be a trip.
Oh my God, SP, like, I'm like, I want to go. I'm telling you, I want to see Swerve Ospreay. Like, come on, like, take all of my blood, like, just take it out of my veins, like, just get, like, the show is going to be a banger, but they're going to be fit. If you know, AEW shows finish at like 1 a.m.
It's like 11:30 is the best it will end, and it's not 11:30. It's probably be midnight. Midnight is like the closest it will end. The shortest amount of time it will end is midnight.
Okay, so you say. I think it's the last pay-per-view finished at like 12:30.
What was that in Long Island? You talking about World's End?
No.
Oh, yeah. I know that because it was 5:30 a.m. here for Double or Nothing.
Good show, but
my kids didn't let me sleep the next morning. I was up by like 10.
I'm sorry, SP.
And AEW shows is the type of shows you can't go immediately to sleep afterwards. It's like they're giving you drugs and you can't go to sleep right after the show ends. You got to talk about it on social media and with your friends a little bit, and then you finally go to sleep.
You're struggling over there, SP. I give you all the credit, friend. So I'm still on the fence. Like, I really want to go, but then I don't want to go because of that part of the whole situation. And then I know if I don't go, I'm like, fuck, I miss a banger of a show. Because I know it's going to be good. It's like, I could have been there. So I'm like, still kind of like, I'm going to wait to the last minute, probably.
I feel you. We got Emmanuel who says Garcia versus Jeff Cobb, maybe. I want the king of television to try to get this TV title. I want Samoa Joe versus Jeff Cobb.
Ooh. And let Samoa Joe win?
Yeah.
I'm here for
No. I don't need Joe. I don't think Joe needs to win. You just have Cobb. You can have Cobb win.
Okay, that's fine.
Nikki Boy says, so Naito is gonna lose to Mox again. No, I think Naito wins the title back at Forbidden Door because
you think
the
so?
G1 is I think we'll know better next Sunday because we'll talk about shortly the big news from New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion pay-per-view was about the G1 this summer. I think we'll know better after next Sunday. If Mox is not in the G1, then he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna be the IWGP champion coming out of Forbidden Door.
Okay.
We got next up, speaking of which, that news that we heard during today's NJPW Dominion, the company announced that the G1 Climax 34 tournament is returning to a 2-block format of 20 competitors. 18 participants will be announced next Sunday at NJPW Seoul Day 1 in Sapporo, while the final 2 competitors will be determined in a play-in tournament that will take place during the Seoul tour, and that will end on July 5th. The top 3 point scorers in each block of the G1 this year will advance to the playoffs. So there'll be 6 competitors in the playoffs following block play, and the top point scorers in each block will advance to the semifinals, while number 2 and 3 in the A block and B block will go at it in the quarterfinals to set up the semifinals. So I like the fact they have gone back to the 20 competitors, because 32 the last couple of years and 4 blocks was way too much. This is the traditional G1 back.
SP, you can't tell me that that graphics for the G1 Climax is not for the porno. Look at it. Just look at the. Okay, I'm just saying
because it's like a waterfall coming out of the climax.
Yep. There you go. See, you see it. Sorry, now you can't unsee it. Yep.
This is what Krssi Dove does to us here.
It's what.
Wow. He's the Balabee's like, I don't see it. He's like, nope. He's like, no, I don't see it. It's not the same thing to me. Of course, we got Big Man Dog trolling us in the chat saying that Chase Owen's gonna win. And then Balabee, they went full NBA with this year's G1, doing a play-in for the final 2 spots. I was like, but it makes sense because you've had guys like Bolton Oglid, who's just was a young lion. You got Callum Newman, who is the young lion for United Empire. They've both been saying they want a spot in the G1. There's other people who like TJP, who is a junior heavyweight, that said he wants to be in the G1. So you have all these guys that necessarily might not get a spot. And because we're going down from 32 to 20 competitors, there's going to be a lot of regulars who are not going to be in the tournament. So you put them all in the play-in to get the spot in the tournament. That makes sense to me.
Very true. Very true. But hey, let's see what happens.
Frantic Girl says, I mean, the G1 does turn people on.
I mean, it does.
Y'all are too much. CMLL star and NJPW Strong Women's Champion Stephanie Becker will defend her title at CMLL and NJPW Fantastica Mania later this month against La Cantarina. Someone will pronounce it properly from me in the chat. Tony Khan announced the news Friday night on his official X account. Khan also revealed that if Stephanie Becker loses the title, then the scheduled matchup between Becker and Mercedes Moné at Forbidden Door will only be for the TBS title. As of right now, the bout is title for title. The title bout between La Cantalina and Stephanie Becker will take place on Friday, June 21st, just 9 days ahead of Forbidden Door at Arena Mexico in Mexico City. So that should be a really good one. I think they already announced Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hechicero. So I am watching this show automatically for that.
And you get
ZSJ and Hechicero? Come on. Hechicero. That's my favorite person from CMLL. Love that guy. But you know, the theme of this week's episode is everyone needs a contract. That includes New Japan Pro Wrestling. Fightful Select has an update on the New Japan contract of wrestler Shane Haste, formerly known as Slapjack in WWE. According to the report, the TMDK member will soon become a free agent when his current deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling expires at some point later this month. The report notes that it's unknown if Hayes and New Japan have engaged in talks to sign him to a new contract. During his New Japan run, him and his tag team partner, Mikey Nichols, captured the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team titles earlier in April. They later lost them last month to El Phantasmo and Hikuleo at New Japan Resurgent. And as we said earlier, they won them back as well as the IWGP Tag Team titles this morning at Dominion, which is good news if you're Shane Hayes because you have some leverage to sign a new deal. Additionally, Dijak's WWE contract is also said to be expiring soon. Former WWE star Mace, aka Manson Mando, is also currently a free agent, along with TNA X Division champion Mustafa Ali. Dijak had reportedly not signed a new deal yet after he was drafted to the Raw roster, and this means that several members, all the members except for Michin, of the well-known and popular stable Retribution will all soon be wrestling as free agents.
Wow.
The famed Retribution. That's what I'm going to call them from now on. Famed.
The famed
Retribution. New Japan Pro Wrestling confirmed 2 new matchups for this month's NJPW Seoul 2024 Day 1 event. David Finlay is now set to defend the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship against former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Sonata at the event next Sunday. Also set for the card, the Bullet Club War Dogs will defend the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles against TMDK's Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita. The card will be held on Sunday, June 16th in Sapporo, Japan, and it will be streamed live on NJPW World. And then finally, final New Japan news, New Japan President Hiroshi Tanahashi and his fellow management team addressed the media on Tuesday, where Tanahashi discussed the NJPW Strong Championships on wanting the titles to be defended at American events only, taking into account the opinions of wrestlers and fans. He says, we want to clarify the roles and concepts of each championship belt and raise the status of our championships. This will see various forms, but firstly, the NJPW Strong Championships will be restored to their original roles of being defended only on American events. And yes, what's up? You want to say hi? Hi to Krssi?
Hi.
Say hi, Krssi. No, say it into the mic.
One.
No, that's God. That's your godfather, Baby Seth, in the background. Yeah. Yeah, she wanted me to put Baby Seth on. You want me to put Baby Seth on? All right, I'll put it just for you. Say hi. Say hi, Godfather. Say hi, Godfather.
Do the Harlem Shake.
Well, you was watching wrestling this morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who you watched on wrestling?
Who won?
Okay, bye.
Was it The Rock wrestling? All right. You gotta go. You open the door. You gotta go.
She opened the forbidden door.
Yeah, she opened the forbidden door. Thanks for showing, Baby Seth. We always love seeing your face. Yes, gotta have the Harlem running. That's now a tradition here on the flagship. But there we go. But yes, it seems like the New Japan Strong belts are now going to be officially on the American show. So we won't be seeing them much on the Japan shows moving forward, according to Tanahashi. And Tanahashi addressed the House of Torture, and I was like, why? Why? He said them cheating is problematic for the company.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But it's not it shouldn't be a story. Shouldn't be a story. It should be for real. Yes. We got Negro Bug. He says, yeah, we got a rare Baby Seth running. That's how you know this is a special edition, special show. Bala B says, hey, Harlem. We got the Hart for Harlem there. We also got, I love how the live chat always pops when Harlem appears.
We don't get much kid sightings.
Yes. And yes, my daughter, I asked my daughter during Shingo and Hanare this morning, I was like, who do you think's going to win, Shingo or Hanare? And she says, Shingo is wrestling. And I was like, I mean, you got a point there. She knows graps. She knows the graps. But let's go over to WWE now, Miss Krssi Love. WWE SmackDown on Friday, your show that you review over on bodyslam.net. Know Your Role with Stephanie Hypes. The show featured Paul Heyman officially stating that Solo Sikoa is now the head of the table until Roman Reigns returns, anointing Tama Tonga as the right-hand man of the bloodline and anointing the infamous Tonga Loa into the group. This led to Kevin Owens coming out to attack until the Street Profits even the odds. Later in the show, Owens and the Street Profits picked up a DQ win over the Bloodline after Solo Sikoa introduced a steel chair into the proceedings, leading to a post-match beatdown as Solo delivered a Samoan spike to Angelo, a spear to Montez, and the shield bomb to KO through the commentary table to end the show. It was really about reestablishing this new bloodline as they bookmarked this week's episode. Meanwhile, you had LA Knight. Yeah, he beat Carmelo Hayes in one-on-one action. Post-match, Knight once again challenged Logan Paul and said that he would bring SmackDown to Paul. Paul later responded in a promo from his house telling LA to go back to the mid-card. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, they beat Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Post-match, Raw's Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, as well as Isla Dawn and Alba Fire attacked, but Jade and Bianca laid them all out to stand tall, setting up a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles at Clash at the Castle. And finally, it was AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes looking for revenge after the fake retirement last week. Styles goaded Cody into an undisputed WWE Championship match at Clash at the Castle, which Rhodes wanted an I Quit match since that's what Styles should have said last week. AJ got the last laugh by laying out Cody as he was held by security. What did you think about this week's Raw and the bloodline being reestablished? Oh, excuse me. SmackDown. Thank you. SmackDown, this week's SmackDown on Friday. What did you think about the bloodline being reestablished?
It's leading up to what I think maybe what War Games is going to be like for us, probably, maybe so. We'll see. But I guess this is somehow you tie this in on how we have to like prolong this like whole bloodline thing. The bloodline from which
that's fucked up.
That is really damn Eddie. Like really, like come on, guys. I mean, you have like the cousins that you really don't like are like the head of the table. Like the cousins that you don't, man, I don't want them to come over here. They gonna mess up all my toys. I don't like them. You know what I'm saying? Those cousins.
Yes.
Those are cousins. And they mad, they bullies and whatnot. I don't want they just come over here and just debo everything. Then they'll clean up after themselves and then I get in trouble because they ain't clean up my stuff that they used. Those are those three right there. Poor Paul Heyman, like he plays this very well. He's doing so good as like this like supporting role, but like still like kind of like hides and just does everything. Like he's not even like a councilman for them per se. He just does, you know, just tags along because he's so scared of Solo and what Solo's gonna do. But you know, overall solid episode of SmackDown for Fridays. You can't get much out of Fridays. Like it's Friday.
I enjoyed this week's episode. I think it was my most enjoyable SmackDown in a
while.
Couple of weeks.
Yes.
Because of the bloodline, I see the direction that they're going. The loud "We Want Roman" chants is just getting louder and louder every week. And I thought the Styles and Cody follow-up was really well done.
That was really, I think, that makes a good part too for AJ to lose, which is still like a good match, but you're adding more layers to this, and then it made Cody like try to find him all night, and Nick Aldis trying to keep him away. Like it's really, really like good stuff. Like with of course after what happened last week. So overall, decent show for this week for Friday night. You know what I'm saying? Because we're used to Fridays not being good, but this was actually a good show. Well, are we going to get Logan Paul to give up the belt and give it to no?
You gotta build. This is a slow burn to SummerSlam.
Okay. Okay,
They're
'cause I'm
slow
like,
burning the SummerSlam.
right, because I'm like, okay, so like, are we going to give this belt to LA Knight? Like, you had the opportunity to do it and you didn't do it. So now, are we going to do it now? Try to correct these wrongs? Like, what happened?
We shall see. We
Right.
shall see. We gotta wait and see. But I've been enjoying the Logan Paul and LA Knight back and forth that we've been seeing. Long game, yes. Long gamer.
Yeah,
Long
no,
gamer,
I'm
that
I'm
Logan
fine with the
Paul.
long game. I'm just like, okay, so like we build this back up to do what to LA?
Yes.
That's all my that's all my
Valaby is
concern.
Valaby is right. Solo has no mana, not aura. It's mana for the bloodline.
So who's the enforcer now?
I would think the infamous Tonga Loa is now the enforcer.
Because they said infamous. I'm like, well, what is that even like?
Well, Krssi Love, if you're a New Japan fan,
Oh,
you know that
what that
Tonga
means.
Loa is infamous, but for all the wrong reasons.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay.
Vince McMahon news once again, unfortunately. Vince McMahon resigned from WWE earlier this year amid accusations of sex trafficking, rape, and more. He is under federal investigation and was sued by his alleged victim, Janelle Grant. McMahon has denied all wrongdoings, but he is, however, not part of WWE anymore. In an interview with the Insiders podcast, former longtime WWE employee Tom Garlucci, I believe I'm saying that right, said that Vince McMahon is not even allowed at WWE headquarters anymore, even not in the gym he designed for himself. On McMahon not being allowed at WWE HQ, Tom said he can't even walk in the building. That's crazy that you drive by that building. You got the big championship belt. He always wanted those from day one, Conrad, because we were in two different buildings. You had the corporate office off exit 9, and then we're right down the street from the corporate office, our big production studio. He always wanted us under one roof. That was his dream, to have us under one roof. The dream came, and he's not even part of it anymore. On Vince designing the gym, he said, was created for Vince. He designed the gym with his trainer, Mike, who I know really well. He can't even go into that gym anymore. He can't step foot anywhere. Every meeting that goes on over there, everybody asks, is Vince coming? You'll never see Vince here again from the TKO people. On people burying Vince McMahon during WrestleMania weekend, Garlucci said, he's the legacy, and that's what killed me about WrestleMania, was everybody just buried Vince. Heyman buried Vince. I'm with Triple H now, and like, does Paul remember who bailed Heyman out back in the day? Vince. Who made Triple H? Triple H, great guy. I'm not saying anything bad about Triple H, but if it wasn't for Vince, half the guys wouldn't even be here making the money they made. And then you're going to put the boots to him, making him guilty before the trial even happens, and saying you're a Paul Levesque guy. There would be no WrestleMania without Vince. So it is crazy that you talk about his legacy and now he's just alone, and he's alone. On rumors of estrangement in the McMahon family, he says, I think there is a lot of strain on the family at this point in time with Vince. His kids, Shane, I don't know for a fact, but I think it is definitely happening. I think he is alone. I think he is. It's hard to believe, but I really do. I think he is. I don't think Vince had a lot of friends, a lot of fans around him. Nope, he did not.
Nope, he didn't. Not at all. Vince screwed himself. He did this to himself.
I will say the only thing that has any credence to what he said is the fact that WWE is on this they're on this campaign of this the Paul Levesque Triple H ever. Fuck Vince. Vince has been here. And it is fairly obvious what they're trying to do is just create as much separation as possible between them and Vince, even though they're a part of the lawsuit as well.
Yeah. It's so funny when they're trying to distance themselves so much, but they really can't because they're a part of it. But they just like try not to say much about it.
Pretty much. I don't know where that rumor is coming from. Dion Jenkins, he says rumor is Roman versus Solo at SummerSlam. I have not heard that rumor at all. In fact, this week, WWE removed Roman Reigns from advertisements for the SmackDown that he was advertised to make his return for. So
really,
whatever rumor you're hearing that from, I would love to hear who that rumor is from, because if this week kind of confirmed that it's not happening at SummerSlam, or at least it's not advertised to happen before SummerSlam, his return.
Okay.
We got a super chat donation once again from the good brother Chuck Berries. Chuck Berries, you are killing it today. We appreciate you. He says WrestleMania 40 seems to have been an eternity ago since they have continued to do my role model wrong on this show, on the show. I apologize. I didn't mention Bailey did have a segment with Piper Niven, who cut a really good promo against Bailey.
That was really good. Yeah, we didn't even get to talk about that. Yes, that to start them for their show, which is great. I mean, Piper will lose, but this is going to be a good match for them, and set up Piper, and Chelsea Green is just great.
Yeah. The only issue I have, and I agree with Chuck Berries to this point, is that since WrestleMania, it's been like, I think 3 or 4 weeks in a row that every time Bailey shows up and she has the WWE Women's Champion, I scream at my TV. I'm like, oh yeah, Bailey is the champion. Like I'm just waiting for the episode of SmackDown where she is in the top 3 most important thing that happened in the show, because that has not happened since WrestleMania. She has not been in the top 3 things that have happened on SmackDown.
I mean,
and this is not an insult to Bailey. This is an insult to the booking of Bailey since she became champion.
Right. I'm about to say, this is not Bailey's doing what she can do. It's the people that are booking her show and not make her. They were more focused on Becky, Rhea, Liv's story than they were about her story, which is the sad case. But like, it's sad that it's a disservice to her, and it's a very much a disservice to Bailey, and it's not Bailey's fault. Bailey's just trying to do what she can do. No. It's really justice for Bailey. Yes, I agree, Valaby. Justice for Bailey. It's not Bailey's fault. Bailey is just trying to do what they show up on Friday and do this promo. Okay, great. Do this. Okay, great.
I agree with this. This rumor came from the same place as the other rumor of Roman and Solo, that The Rock's going to return next week. I love McMahon dogs. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's not saying Vince McMahon was like, I want to see the new HQ, pal. And Eddie James is so right. He says, y'all know Vince is petty enough to try to take down Paul Levesque in the lawsuit. He's like, here's some text messages that I sent to Paul about this relationship.
Yep. That's a fact.
He would do some grimy shit. But I agree with that stat as well. Now, Bailey versus Nia is going to be a lot of fun at SummerSlam.
Yes.
But also Cyclops is better than Wolverine with a comment saying Bailey definitely feels like a transitional champion, like WWE just waiting around to put the belt on Nia or Tiffany. 1000% it feels like that by the booking.
It's so true. I'm so sad to say that. I would see it on Nia before Tiffany, though.
Yeah. I mean, I see it as they tease what I want on Friday when they did the little segment where Tiffany came up to Nia and was asking about working together. I want Nia to beat up Bailey during SummerSlam, and then Miss Money in the Bank Tiffany Stratton comes in and cashes in, and she wins the title.
Oh, like the Damien effect. Got it.
No, during the match, make it a triple threat and come in and reap the benefits of what Nia beat up Bailey, and she comes in and takes the title.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Well, you know the theme of this episode, everybody needs a contract, so we got more contract news based on a report by Fightful Select. Angel Garza, if you are not speaking Spanish, is reportedly on the list of wrestlers with expiring contracts, along with Chad Gable, Ricochet, and Natalya. The report indicates that Garza's contract is set to expire on August 1st. Negotiations have been ongoing between WWE and Garza, with an offer already presented by the company. However, Garza has remained silent on the matter publicly throughout his time in WWE. He has held the Cruiserweight and 24/7 title. Lately, he has been seen teaming up with Legado del Fantasma on SmackDown. Prior to signing with WWE in 2019, Garza also made a name for himself in TNA and AAA, as well as other wrestling promotions. Fightful Select had another report on another WWE superstar, and it is his tag team partner and cousin, Humberto Carrillo, aka Berta of Legado del Fantasma. His contract is set to expire on August 1st. That's the same day of the contract expiring for Angel Garza. According to the report, WWE is looking to keep Humberto signed to the company, and he has been made a new contract offer. Both sides are still in negotiation for a new deal. Fightful notes that Humberto Carrillo would still be able to continue performing using his real name if he were to leave WWE. He first signed with WWE in 2018, and he was later drafted to the main roster in the fall of 2019. What do you think? 0 to 100, the chances of Angel and Humberto leaving WWE?
Leaving? 42%?
I'd put it at 30%.
I
30.
If you ask me, do I think they're leaving? No, I don't think they're leaving.
No, I don't think so either. It just felt like axing. Felt like axing. But I feel like if they did leave, they're another act I feel would have a higher ceiling in AEW, because AEW just seems like the Mexican luchador talent they value more than WWE does.
True, but it's so saturated. You can't. How many of them you're gonna put over there in AEW? It's too many now.
Yeah,
they don't do as much with the ones that they already got. So you adding more to the sauce is just making it soggy. Sorry.
We got S Dot with the trade proposition. He says WWE gets Penta and Ricky, and AEW gets Angel and Garza and Ricochet. No, that's not a fair trade for AEW.
Yeah.
It's the Penta one, because, man,
it's the Penta one.
You were basically sending Penta to LWO Purgatory if you could.
Right.
I'm sorry. They have Dragon Lee, who's been one of the best high flyers in the world for like nearly a decade. They got him just standing around with the LWO, standing in the corner of Rey Mysterio some weeks, losing to Finn Balor. We'll get into that. Let's talk about WWE Raw. The show featured Liv Morgan trying to seduce Dominic Mysterio after their kiss
when
the week prior.
Short shorts and hooker boots. Great job, Liv. Great job.
Before Finn Balor made the save for Dom, but Dom really enjoyed that head rub from Liv. This led to a night of the Judgment Day dominating as Balor beat Dragon Lee. Post-match, they jumped Lee until Braun Strowman came out to make the save. Later in the night, Strowman picked up a victory over Carlito, but this led to a post-match beatdown where the Judgment Day attacked and laid out Braun with a steel chair after Liv protected Dominic from Strowman. And then finally, it was Damian Priest defeating Rey Mysterio in the main event. Post-match, Drew McIntyre attacked Priest ahead of their Clash at the Castle matchup, but Priest got the advantage after a distraction from Michael Cole and hit the South of Heaven on Drew through the commentary table. Another week of Braun Breaker breaking folks as he picked up another win in a very good match with Ricochet. Post-match, Breaker tried to attack Ricochet, but it was Ilya Dragunov who came out to make the save. And once again, it was Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, and Alpha Academy who had the big segment of the night, the top-rated segment on Raw this week, as Sami Zayn challenged Chad Gable, which led to Alpha Academy coming out to confront him, sending a message from Gable. But it was Sami who gave Gable a shot at the gold at Clash at the Castle. This led to Gable attacking Sami, and after some conflict from Otis, it was Chad, who pushed Zayn into Otis, who went into Maxine Dupree and Akira Tozawa, and then Otis laid out Sammy with the world's strongest slam and helped Alpha Academy to the back as Chad Gable stood tall. What did you think about this week's Raw and the latest in the saga of Liv and Dom, the love story, as I call it?
Another love triangle that's happening, and the other person is not present, but they'll be there sooner or later. Great stuff. Are we gonna go? We're gonna have a match for the custody of who gets Dom. Like, that'd be great. I think that's fun.
Let's go. Let's go. 19 years in the making. Another
Correct.
custody for Dom match.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. And it's like, low key, is he going to like turn on Rhea and be like, "You forgot about me, mommy. You became this big person and you left me alone."
He's gonna turn on Rhea. He's got to turn on.
He
Rhea.
barely can get a damn word out. Like, now, like, they still won't let him talk. Like, all of these, like, still they will not let that man talk at all. I'm like, guys, get over it. Like, let him at least get 2 words in. And is he really even still injured? Like, or is that just like he's just wearing that thing on his arm? Because I was like, they didn't really announce anything.
Yeah. Okay. Sean Ireland. The point is, it's not anything wrong with losing to Finn. It's the fact that I don't remember the last time Dragon Lee won on the main roster. That's the problem. When was the last time he won on the main roster? The dude had a WrestleMania matchup. He had a WrestleMania matchup that they took him out the day before WrestleMania so he wouldn't wrestle in it.
To be honest, I'm actually shocked that they let Finn win. Because usually they
and that's what I'm saying. Like, Finn is usually lower on the totem pole than most people, but he beat Dragon Lee. So that means Dragon Lee's lower on the totem pole than him.
Right. Well, oh God.
Just saying. Thank you, S. And that's why this is a false statement. Your comment before proves that this is a false statement because you be forgetting Dragon Lee is there. What do you think is gonna happen to Penta?
Same shit. Horrible. Dude, Penta better not do it.
Penta will be huge in NXT. I'll give him that. He would have a great run in NXT, but not much else after that. We do have another super chat donation. He showed up. He's been hearing Chuck Berry's call him out in the chat with the super chat donations earlier. Will Chisholm with the super chat donation. He says, "Is it me or that Dustin promo last night sound like a Cody promo if he was in AEW?" Yes, that probably would be what Cody would have said if he was in AEW. The fact that he's still giving
Dustin like shine and everything is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
No shade and all, nothing at all. I'm just saying the fact that like we bring him out and this is what we get.
I was like, why?
Why?
I was like, okay,
right,
time for me to go to sleep. I was like, time
exactly.
For me to go to sleep.
SP is like, okay, great. Like, this is not making me happy. It's not like hyping it up. It's just, this is just what we got. Yep. Great, thanks.
Is what it is.
Right.
And the fact that he said that Jack Perry grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth says the son of Dusty Rhodes.
You know, just sure. I mean, whatever.
As previously reported, Chad Gable will technically be a free agent. Well, technically is a free agent right now, ever since Friday. After his WWE contract expired. However, he is scheduled to work Clash at the Castle in Scotland next week and is still in talks with WWE about a new deal. Unless he signs some sort of short-term extension and there's been no word he will be working that event as a free agent. Fightful Select had an update on his contract status. While his contract does expire on Friday, he's still booked for WWE Clash at the Castle on June 15th. It was confirmed that Gable's contract expired on Friday, June 7th. Fightful also notes that there have been ongoing conversations between Gable and WWE for a new contract, along with Natalya and Angel Garza. Garza's contract is reportedly set to expire in early August, like we said before, and Natalya's contract is reportedly expiring soon as well. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that WWE has made an excellent offer to Gable and are interested in keeping him. AEW is also reportedly interested, although they cannot make an offer until his deal expires. There have been several key people in AEW pushing Tony Khan to sign Gable as soon as possible, as soon as his contract does expire. So, I mean, I think that it's safe to say that Gable will resign, and I think he's going to win the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's time for him to get it. It's like we've already like been prolonging this too long. I think it's time for no shade to Sammy at all. Thanks for being there and taking the stuff off Gunther. We appreciate you since WrestleMania. You've had it's been 4 months now. It's time to go. No, 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. Great. Good job. You've got your standing ovation back home. Like you've gotten everything. You did Canada. Like you've done your part. You've gotten all the stuff. Now it's time for someone else to be. We need the heel back.
I wouldn't be against Natalya leaving, honestly. But let's talk about that.
I'm not against Natalya leaving. Natty has been there her whole life. Like let her see what the other waters look like.
Yeah.
She's definitely that veteran that can you imagine her as Serena Deebs? Like can you let's just say what you want about Natalya, but when she understands her assignment, she does what she needs to do, right? Her and Deonna Purrazzo. Like, let's just look at the list of people she can go at it with. Give them a good 20 minutes and it's good. Maybe 15.
Speaking of which, as previously reported, Natalya is set to be a free agent soon as her WWE contract expires this month. However, she and WWE have been in negotiations for weeks. Fightful Select reports that WWE and Natalya have yet to come to terms on a new deal, but is still in active talks. There is expected to be outside interest from multiple companies if she becomes a free agent. Companies are interested in Natalya for a wrestling role as well as additional roles in the business. Depending on when AEW's Owen Hart Cup tournament starts, it's said to be plausible that she could work it. There's been no word from AEW if they expect that to happen, but I wouldn't mind Natalya in the Owen Hart Cup. Have her lose to Mariah May in the final.
Yeah. Now, I don't mind seeing her do it. Will she do it is the question. We could say all the hell we want to, but I feel like it's stuck in her. You speak to your uncle, if you're that close with your Uncle Brett, he probably was just go.
Yeah, dip on out on these. Yeah, Triple H's a 4 out of 10 booker. He's dip on out on this nigga. He hates Triple H. He still hates Triple H.
Hey, listen, you hate him, whatever. It's okay.
It's fine by me. I mean, I don't care. We got Will Chisholm with another super chat donation. Will heard the call. He heard the call from Chuck Berry's in the chat. He's like, I'm coming with the heat to end the show here. We got Will with a super chat. He says, I'm sorry, but Finn is doing God's work, trying to save that dumb boy from that evil blonde homewrecker, LOL. But in the moment, I would be like, why you blocking, bro? I mean, he is blocking. He is blocking.
Listen.
Don't be a cock block, dude. I'm just
I think he's just trying to save him from the wrath that is Rhea Ripley. I think that's where it's coming from.
He's like, bro, I'm trying to help you avoid this smoke. This smoke about to hit you this summer when she come back.
By SummerSlam, it's over, son. You keep playing games. I'm just trying to tell you, but it's apparent this group is missing her. I mean, it's they're there and they're doing whatever they can do, but it's missing some type of oomph, and it was her.
Oh yeah, and Natalya would be so helpful to the young wrestlers in AEW, like a Sky Blue, Queen Amanada, Anna Jay, Ty Mello.
She would be such a mentor. Yep, I can see her and Thunder Rosa could be whooping these girls into shape.
And Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb.
And Serena Deeb too, right. I just want to see that be one of the matches. Her and Serena Deeb is gonna cook.
Oh, Eddie James, he says, why does Brett hate Triple H? Well, I will say Exhibit A would be every WWE documentary that had talked about the Montreal screw job while Brett was not good with the company. And Triple H literally took the credit for coming up with the idea for the Montreal screw job. That might be why.
Well,
that might be right. And the fact that he if you watch Exhibit B would be Wrestling with Shadows, where he deadass lied in Brett's ex-wife's face and said, "Oh, I had nothing to do. I had no clue that was going to happen." That might be why. Just saying. That'd be why. But WrestleVotes had a new report on Thursday about a certain Braun Breaker. WWE officials are high on Braun Breaker after his recent performances on Monday Night Raw. As of late, they are now making changes to creative to position him in a bigger way. The report reads, I'm told WWE has considerably altered their creative plans for Braun Breaker. The second-generation superstar has impressed many higher-ups in his short stint on Raw. A source states that Breaker is slated to be a major focus heading into the Netflix era of the show. With his age, speed, look, and pedigree, this rare combination of talents isn't to be overlooked, said the source.
Mm-hmm.
I see Braun Breaker being a WWE champion in a year.
You think so?
He's that good. I was high on Braun Breaker 2 years ago during his generic babyface run, but he showed so much since turning heel last year. And he's doing really good so far with this heel run on Raw.
Okay.
They finally got him out the Goldberg formula, which was stale as fuck. So I'm glad about that. That's the best part. Just make him a badass. But speaking of badasses, Rhea Ripley has been out since WrestleMania 40, since suffering a shoulder injury. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Ripley opted to rehab the shoulder instead of getting surgery and has been doing that during her time away. The current belief is that she will not be back in time for SummerSlam. However, if she heals faster than expected, or if the storyline changes and they need her to appear, then she'll show up earlier. If the rehab doesn't heal the shoulder enough, it could eventually require surgery, though. I'm always shaky when superstars decide to do rehab instead of getting surgery. Yep, same thing with MJF, who just came back. He didn't get any surgeries. He just rehabbed his injuries.
Yeah. So it makes it very nervous as hell. So it, because what if it happens again? Then you should have just got the damn surgery. Now you're out longer. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, because if you would have got the surgery, how long would you have been gone for?
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. We got Frantic World who says Bret Hart and Kendrick Lamar could be best friends because they have hate for their enemies. Hate the way that you talk, the way that you walk. I want to hear Bret sing that. Let's see Euphoria. That's what I need now. I need that. He could talk about Goldberg and just talk. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you spear. WWE NXT this week, they did 768,000 viewers, their highest viewership of the year since New Year's Evil, their first episode of 2024. The show featured Jordan Grace's NXT in-ring debut as she beat Stevie Turner. Post-match, Roxanne Perez got in her face, leading to a brief back and forth. So Ruka, Jada Parker, Michin beat Lash legend Kalani Jordan and Fallon Henley ahead of their NXT Women's North American ladder match tonight at NXT Battleground. And then finally, Ethan Page signed his contract with WWE that had a special clause of his debut matchup being for the NXT Championship at Battleground. After urging from Trick, the match was made official in a good back and forth promo exchange to close the show. Ethan Page was in his bag. He's just so good on the mic compared to everybody else in NXT, especially.
Very true. I agree. This is something that they needed over there to ump it up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. But some news about Ethan Page. PW Insider reports that people backstage were very impressed with Page's performance in that promo exchange with Ava during Tuesday night's NXT. Also, some news about Jordynne Grace with the NXT TNA partnership. Jordynne Grace will challenge Roxanne Perez at tonight's Battleground event. The Wrestling Observer newsletter had more information saying that the deal that she has with WWE is largely being kept secret. Most in the company outside of management had no idea that the deal was made. Most people in NXT weren't aware of the deal until Grace showed up. It was noted that Roxanne would have faced Raquel Rodriguez if the deal didn't happen by the time that Grace's name came up. It was already done. Meanwhile, it is still believed there will be NXT involvement at Against All Odds for TNA next Friday. Grace versus Tatum Pasley was teased on NXT this past week. Fightful Select had more report about the NXT TNA partnership. WWE sources told Fightful that Grace made a great impression and served TNA well when she appeared at the Royal Rumble. Fightful also notes that TNA made the process very easy for WWE. Based on sources within WWE, they appeared open to this happening again in the future. In addition to Scott D'Amore at the time, the report notes that TNA's Vice President of Business Development, Ariel Shinger, was also helpful in this deal. It should be noted that WWE reached out to TNA unaware that the decision had been made to remove Scott D'Amore from his position. D'Amore actually accepted WWE's inquiry and tried to buy TNA that same week. Those Fightful spoke to in TNA and WWE said that their move away from D'Amore had no bearing on continuing the relationship with TNA. And since the Royal Rumble, Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp has spoken to several women on the WWE roster who have indicated that they would love to appear on TNA programming. One specifically said that she believed it would be a great opportunity for talent to cross-promote and give themselves angles outside of WWE that would help create some buzz. Natalya outright mentioned Jordynne Grace to Fightful on camera as someone she liked to work with. One NXT higher-up also mentioned Steve Maclin as a natural crossover fit as he knows the WWE Performance Center and NXT. And a dozen WWE talent said that they were open to appearing in TNA. And amongst NXT talent that our good friend Corey Brenner spoke with, there is significant interest in working with the TNA roster, specifically Leon Slater and Josh Alexander have been spoken of highly amongst the NXT roster as potential opponents. So if you can name one woman from WWE that you would love to see on TNA and one TNA talent you would love to see in WWE NXT, who would they be?
Okay, TNA talent. What's her name? She just last feuded with Jordynne Grace. Damn. She looks Asian. She has kind of like blondish hair.
Oh, you heard about Giselle Shaw?
Yes, Giselle Shaw. Bring her over, and then someone to go over there because she's more like a vet. So she's like you need more of like an old like a name like someone like with experience. I feel like to go there. So bring her over, and then for WWE. Bring Bailey.
I did not expect that. I did not expect that.
She's not doing anything anyway, so you might as well put her over there.
She is. Stop. Sure she is. She's the WWE Women's Champion.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not going to do that.
Okay.
They're not going to do that. Let's be real. They're not going to do that.
If they wouldn't do, Tasha Steelz wouldn't be bad either. She's more. I feel like she would be great WWE material.
Yeah. I would say
she might get put with all the black girls.
I would say from TNA to WWE, it's got to be Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry would just work in a backstage segment. He would be so good. And as far as NXT to TNA, Wesley, because I want to see him back in the treehouse with the Rascals.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be my picks. We do got another super chat donation from our good brother Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. Always appreciate it. He says, with Jordan Grace appearing on NXT, what are the chances of Moose appearing on NXT next?
Ooh.
Jordan Grace did say in her interview with Fightful that Moose is very open to appearing on NXT.
Ooh, I like that. Him and Obafemi, him.
PCO got experience in WWE. Why not? Why not? I'm down with that. And yes, I believe in Joe Hendry as well. Blue. I believe in Joe Hendry. We got Big Man Dogs who says, I feel like you could send some NXT mid-carders on excursion there to give them some TV reps. Agreed there. Yeah, I agree with you there. 100%. But let's talk about TNA this week. The show featured their 20th anniversary celebration with Nick Nemeth defeating Frankie Kazarian in the main event. Post-match, the system jumped the Nemeth brothers until Joe Hendry came down to try to make the save. However, the numbers got the better of him until broken Matt Hardy showed up on the big screen to invite Moose to the Hardy compound next week ahead of their against all odds main event matchup. Jordan Grace beat Allison Kay to retain the TNA Knockouts Championship, while Giselle Shaw, the aforementioned star, made her in-ring return in a win over Shaza McKenzie. And our good brother, Top Dollar AJ Francis, defeated Laredo Kid to win the TNA Digital Media Championship. So happy for AJ Francis. He's making the best out of his post-WWE run right now.
I agree. He made lemons out of lemonade. Like, you got cut. You went somewhere where people can like use you. And like you said, this title has been made for him, I feel like. He's still kind of the same character, but like just turned up a little bit more obnoxious, and he still can do what it's great for him.
And Rich Swann looks like he's having a ball working with him as well.
Yeah. I like it. So when people have good chemistry, it looks like they have great chemistry together. It's not like something that's just like forced.
Yeah. So following the departures of several talents from TNA or backstage personnel like Louis D'Angeli as well as RD Evans, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that there are people backstage that are concerned following this news, particularly with talent not being told a lot. TNA keeping its deal with WWE a secret has also led to some concerns backstage. The previous head of creatives from some time were Jimmy Jacobs, Scott D'Amore, Tommy Dreamer, and RD Evans. D'Amore was fired. Jacobs went to AEW. And with Evans leaving, it's just Tommy Dreamer now, a part of that team. He's working with Hunter Delirious Johnson, the former creative head of ROH, and George Barrios, who is known for documentaries and doesn't have a lot of wrestling experience. Other staff members that were let go last week, including D'Angeli's assistant, Lily Arsenio, which means that the booking department only has Greg Barger-Rossi right now. Anthem previously considered doing permanent tapings live every Thursday at Full Sail University, the former home of NXT. According to one person, Full Sail no longer has interest with D'Angeli gone. However, another source noted that there may be some hope, but D'Angeli was the one taking point on that, and others have soured on the idea of going live, and some of the work done by those let go will reportedly be outsourced moving forward. So we said it last week. WWE, NXTNA, it just feels like WWE is just positioning themselves to either buy the company or buy the tape library because of the moves that that TNA are making.
You think they're being real? Okay, so they're being really, really sneaky and like doing this partnership, but then we'll like do the WCW effect and like we'll save you and we'll just buy your company.
It's more like ECW. I think that the money that they're getting is probably going to keep them afloat for a while from this deal.
Okay,
but it doesn't look like this is the big thing that's helping TNA like keep afloat though.
Right.
Because of the moves, because of Anthem. It's mostly because of Anthem. It's not anything WWE is doing to TNA, but Anthem seems like they're cutting a lot of costs and people that are important to the company. Yeah, we shall see. We got Safet, who says, by the way, thank you to TNA Impact for bringing back the classic theme back for one night. And we also got Cyclops. Cyclops is better than Wolverine, who says, I don't watch TNA, but does Tommy Dreamer still rocking that weak ponytail, LOL? Yes, he is. Probably. I don't know. He's not on TV much. But yes, we've made it to the favorite part of Krssi Love, part of the show, match of the week, where we give you our 3 to 5 to sometimes 10 best matches from this past week. Don't worry, I don't have 10. Gonna give you a quick 5 before my daughter gets in here and tries to break in. Okay, you want to come in? Hold on. All right. Want to say hi again?
Oh. Okay.
So, what was your favorite match of the week?
And I hold it down. No. Oh no.
We can't hear her.
You literally
Yeah.
hit my mic now. Thanks.
I had to switch mics. I hear myself through the head. She disconnected my microphone here, so I have to reconnect here. I'll give your matches.
Okay, so very simple because I didn't watch much of a lot of things this week, but but this is what I got. I think I have 3. BCC versus who do they go against? I can't hear you. Yep, there you go. Them, that's 3. Number 2, I would go. I had liked the Finn and Dragon Lee match. So I'll do that as number 3. And then number 1 for me is Swerve versus I can hear you still. Roderick Strong. There we go. Yep, thank you. You're so low. I don't know why.
Did she mess with the levels of the mic? I don't know.
Probably so, because now you're. Yeah.
Hear me now. Now.
Yes.
Now.
Yes. Yes.
Now. All right. I'll hold the mic up for now.
Yes. Yes.
My 5, I will go off the top of my head.
Right, I had to think of some of my head.
I'll go with Shingo versus Hanare from this morning, the Minion.
Okay.
I'll go with number 4, Swerve versus Roderick Strong from Dynamite. Number 3, I'll go with Taiji Ishimori versus TJP from the Best of Super Junior semifinals.
Okay.
I'll go number 2. I'll go with BCC versus FTR from Collision last night.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then that's number 4 for me.
And number 1 for me, I'll go from Dominion this morning, El Desperado versus Taiji Ishimori in the Best of Super Juniors finals.
Okay.
So
good job.
Those are my 5 for the week. And best and worst of the week, the best week ever for El Desperado, since he won this Best of Super Juniors and he's has his own show tomorrow. And worst of the week, who had the worst week? Dragon Lee. I'll go with Dragon Lee.
I'll put worst for the week. I'd put Dominic Mysterio because he's gonna get in trouble. Oh, he's probably already in trouble. And then for winner of the week, I'm going to give it to the head of the table, Solo Sikoa.
That is fair. That is fair.
He became the head of the table now, so yeah.
Finally, we're going to close out the show with rapid fire predictions for tonight's NXT Battleground. If you want a full preview, we did that yesterday with myself and Corey Brenner of Fightful. That was a great time. We laughed a lot, made a lot of jokes, but this we will give you our final predictions here for NXT Battleground tonight from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. It's going to be NXT Underground, no ropes, knockout or tap out. Lola Vice versus Shayna Baszler. Who you got, Krssi?
I'm going Shayna Baszler. She needs this win.
I'm going with Lola Vice. You gotta put over the new talent. This is what Shayna Baszler
True.
is here for.
Okay, then fine. I'll change my answer. You're right. Go ahead. Lola.
She's got to knock her out and shake her ass. For the NXT North American Championship, it's going to be Obafemi defending against Joe Coffey and Wesley. The Obafemi domination needs to continue.
I think so too. I think he still looks strong. I think he should win. Just because West came back doesn't mean that he should get it back right now. So yes, let Obafemi keep continuing this reign that he has.
We're going to crown the inaugural NXT Women's North American Champion, as it's going to be Sol Ruka, Fallon Henley, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Lash Legend, and Michin, who will become the first Women's North American Champion.
I want to give it to Jada.
That ass. I am going to go with Lash Legend. I think Lash has improved a lot, and I want to see her win.
I believe one of those two girls. That's my second one. My honorable mention. Like one of these two girls have to win. I won't be mad either way.
I think either Sol Ruka makes sense though. She makes sense because when she does the soul snatcher off a ladder,
it looks like
that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it looks like the RKO. Like it's really really good, but I feel like she's just very one dimensional though.
She's a high flyer. She's like a female RVD. I'm good with her. I like Sol Ruka.
Okay, great.
For the NXT Tag Team Championships, Axiom and Nathan Frazier versus the OC. Just because Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows got a spot on SmackDown now alongside AJ Styles, I'm going to go with Axiom and Nathan Frazier.
That wasn't that's not my reason for picking them. I just think that they're there just to make them look good and just Axiom and Nathan. The good brothers are there just to like put over the younger guys. Like, they're just on TV.
Facts. This one should be a good one. I'm very interested in your predictions for the final two matches. For the NXT Championship, Trick Williams will defend against All Ego Ethan Page. Who you got, Krssi?
Trick Williams.
I am also going to go with Trick.
It's going to be a crazy, stupid, it's going to be a dumb finish. So something dumb is going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a controversial finish. We'll probably get a referee bump because I think this feud needs to continue after this show.
Yeah.
And I need
win for Trick though.
I need All Ego to win the title in Toronto at Heatwave next month.
Okay.
And then finally, for the NXT Women's Championship, TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace challenges Roxanne Perez. Is Jordynne Grace going to become a double champion tonight?
Yes.
I'm going to go with Roxanne for the win. I'm going to switch up my prediction from the preview. Roxanne for the win, and then we get Julia coming out to end the show.
Oh, true, right? Because she was okay, and then because we're gonna give the belt to Julia, like eventually. Yeah, she has to get okay. All right, I'll change my answer then too. Yeah, okay, I got it. Yep.
But I'm really looking forward to the show. It should be a really good show tonight. We're gonna we're gonna have an NXT Battleground short by Chris G. We want to thank everybody who's been supporting our shorts. We've had I believe it's like 60,000 views on shorts just alone this week between our Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and TNA Impact shorts. You guys have been killing it watching those 1-minute videos. Only 1 minute of your time. Click on the video. Check it out. He did one for SmackDown yesterday, and he will be doing one for NXT Battleground as well. I might tell him to do one for AEW Collision because Collision Discourse will be off this week. We'll be back next week with Collision Discourse as we will be doing our NJPW Dominion review tomorrow, 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Miss Krssi Love, though, let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they can see you again.
Okay, hey friends. So check out if you have not watched, if you're a part of our other channel, watch SPNI as we break down our Power Universe, the people for this the breakdown for this upcoming season. So watch that video for us because Power had just came back on Friday. So please watch that. Other than that, you can find me on Fridays on Know Your Role with bodyslam.net with my tag team partner, Stephanie Hypes, as we give our SmackDown review every Friday. And then other than that, I'm on Tru Heel Heat every Saturday morning or Sunday. Now it depends on what's happening, but we'll be earlier next week, right? We're doing it a little bit earlier because of the show.
We'll start at 10:05 a.m. next Saturday.
Right, so we'll be here at 10:05 next Saturday. So be there, be squared. And yeah, my IG is Krssi Love _1, Tru Heel Krssi Love, which is on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and it's just my plain old name if you want to find me. Yep. So there you go. SP, the good people.
As far as Power Book 2 goes, season 4, episode 1, are you free on Tuesday?
What time?
Afternoonish? You can book a room afternoonish,
I'll
1, 2.
I can see about booking a room at 1. Yeah, I'll let you know. Yes.
We'll see. Well, because we got to review that first.
Oh wait, no, Tuesday. No, I'm not free on Tuesday. Okay. Sorry. Well, I will talk behind the scenes. Sorry. Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yes,
but that first episode was dope as hell. It was like
great.
mission.
Yes. Great opener for. Well, okay. Sorry. Go ahead. We're losing. Yeah.
Follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the game, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month. Exclusive content. Best place where you can support us. ProWrestlingTees.com, ForYourWear.com. Get your Tru Heel Heat merchandise. Check out all the great content. We did some re-uploads because my dumbass erased some videos from the channel. So check out those re-uploads of our Memorial Day weekend content, our Double or Nothing review, our King and Queen of the Ring review. Those are really good. So check those out. And like Krssi Love said, subscribe to Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, as we'll have coverage of Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4 coming out. For Miss Krssi Love, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 280. Everyone needs a contract. We are signing off until next time.
Laters.